Chapter 21. First Swordsmanship Lesson. The wooden sword felt awkward in his grip. Based on its looks, he had expected it to be easy to handle. But it was anything but easy. It's heavier than it looks. Looks really are deceiving. It was also difficult to balance, completely different from anything he'd handled before. Stand like this. Valeria demonstrated a stance. Feet shoulder-width apart, knees slightly bent, sword held at a diagonal across her body. Noah tried to mimic her, feeling like a child playing pretend. No, no, no. She strode over, physically adjusting his posture with her hands. He blushed instantly as he felt her touch all over his body. Damn it, you can instruct me without touching. Wider stance. Bend your knees more. You're not a statue. I'm just a shopkeeper, he reminded her. Not today. She circled him, prodding his form with the tip of her wooden sword. Today you're a swordsman, or trying to be. For the next hour, Valeria drilled Noah through basic stances and strikes. Each movement repeated dozens of times until his arms trembled with fatigue. Again, she commanded after his 50th diagonal cut. 50 more. Are you serious? Sweat dripped from Noah's forehead, stinging his eyes. The body learns through repetition. Or would you prefer fighting demons with that sloppy technique? Noah grumbled but resumed the exercise. High strike, middle strike, low strike, over and over and over. The guild members watching had lost interest after the first 20 minutes, wandering off to more exciting activities. Only one remained, a young man taking notes with scholarly attention. Who's that? Noah asked during a water break. Finn. He is a newbie. He has no talent in swordsmanship, but alas, he is always trying to defy his fate. Ignore him. Finn waved cheerfully. Noah returned the gesture before Valeria smacked his hand down. No fraternizing. Back to work. Now we attack the dummy. She pointed to a straw-filled figure wearing scraps of leather armor. That dummy has killed more new recruits than any demon, she said casually. His name is Harold. The dummy has a name? And a personality. He's judging you right now. Noah approached Harold with appropriate caution. The straw figure stared back with button eyes that did indeed seem unervingly judgmental. All right, the first combo you will be learning is... Valeria commanded. High, middle, low, then step back. Understood. Noah nodded, sweating his butt off. Understood. Good. I want 20 repetitions. His first attempts were awkward, his wooden blade bouncing ineffectively off Harold's stuffed body. You're tickling him. Strike through the target, not at it. Imagine your blade continuing past the point of contact. Noah tried again, focusing on the follow-through. His blade connected with a solid thwack. Better. Valeria sounded genuinely surprised. Again. By the 20th repetition, Noah's strikes had developed something resembling consistency. It wasn't graceful and certainly not powerful, but at least it held the same trajectory. Last exercise, Valeria announced. This will be a defensive stance. She demonstrated a stance designed to ward off incoming attacks, the sword angled to protect vital areas, such as the chest, neck, and liver. Hold this for 5 minutes. Don't move. The first minute wasn't bad. It felt like a breeze. However, by minute 2, his muscles decided that it was time for him to stop, screaming in protest. At the 3rd minute, he was certain his arms would detach from his body. When Valeria finally called time, he collapsed onto the dirt. Congratulations, she said, looking down at his prone form. You survived lesson 1. Barely, Noah gasped. You did better than expected, she admitted, offering a hand up. Most first-timers quit after the initial strike series. I'm not a quitter. He accepted her help, rising on shaky legs. Just a masochist. Probably. You have learned the new skill. Swordsmanship LVL.1. His exhaustion was instantly forgotten. Noah fought to keep his expression neutral. A real skill. With levels and everything. Valeria caught his poorly concealed excitement. Don't get too pleased with yourself. You're somewhere between danger to yourself and slightly less dangerous to yourself now. Progress is progress, Noah countered. Next lesson tomorrow. They parted at the guild entrance, Noah heading back toward his shop with muscles screaming in protest at every step. But despite the pain, he felt oddly accomplished. I learnt an actual swordsmanship skill. It was worth it. Host: Noah Carter. Age 28. Shops 1. Daily revenue: $1,300. Current assets: $1,400.42. Shop points: 130. Attributes: Strength 4, Vitality 4, Intelligence 7, Agility 3. Skills: Swordsmanship Level 1, Programming Level 2, Finance Level 1, Surviving on Ramen Level 3. Chapter 22, Little Thief. Walking back with the wooden sword, Noah remembered Valeria's parting words. Take this with you. Repeat the stances I taught you as many times as you can. Your technique is still sloppy. Once you reach a good foundation, I'll teach you the next stances. Noah rested the practice blade against his shoulder, feeling simultaneously ridiculous and oddly competent. The pose might look cringeworthy, but the sword was heavy, and it was the only pose that made him feel somewhat comfortable. The setting sun painted Esta's cobblestone streets in amber and gold. Merchants closed up shop while taverns flared to life. I only sold 2 items today. 1 iced tea and a piece of bread. Not his most profitable day, but he'd gained something valuable, a life-saving skill that could be upgraded. Besides, his idle income would keep him comfortable for now. $1,300 a day was nothing to scoff at. Every muscle in his body protested as he turned a corner. I'm definitely going to be sore tomorrow, he grimaced at the thought, but he couldn't do anything about it. His hand brushed against his jacket, encountering a familiar shape. The bread loaf. His eyes widened. I can't believe I forgot about it. Valeria's constant nagging had driven everything else from his mind. Noah pulled the loaf from his jacket, unwrapping it carefully. A bite would do wonders for his aching body. As he raised it to his mouth, a blur of motion caught his peripheral vision. Then, the bread vanished from his grasp. Noah blinked at his empty hand, momentarily confused. Then his eyes found the culprit, a small figure darting down an alley. A dwarf with cat ears? The thief clutched Noah's healing bread, his little legs pumping furiously as he fled. What the? His mind failed to comprehend the scene for a split second before he realized what had happened. He'd been robbed by a child. Cat child. Hey! Come back here! Noah shouted, taking off after the diminutive thief. The chase wove through back alleys and narrow passages. The catboy moved with the agility of a cat. Obviously, the catboy slipped through gaps and darted around corners. But Noah's longer stride gradually closed the distance. Stop! Running! You little! Noah gasped between breaths. He had just finished an intense training session with Valera that left his arms sore. The chase ended at a dead-end alley. The catboy whirled around, clutching the bread to his chest, black ears flattened against his head. His eyes, yellow and distinctly feline, darted desperately for escape routes. Noah approached cautiously, blocking the only exit. Got you! The boy hissed, revealing tiny fangs. Leave me alone. That's my bread you stole. I'm hungry, the boy snapped, though his eyes betrayed a different emotion, fear. Then ask for food. Don't steal it. The boy's ears twitched defiantly, like humans would give food to a beastkin. Noah lunged forward, but the boy ducked under his arm, slipping past. The chase resumed through the twilight streets, Noah's muscles screaming in protest. This kid is going to kill me. Finally, another dead end. This time, Noah blocked the escape route more effectively, spreading his arms wide. End of the line, kid. The boy looked up, eyeing the walls. Before Noah could react, the catboy leapt up, scaling the brick with unnatural agility. He perched on the edge of the roof, grinning triumphantly. Nice try, human. Despite Noah's inability to catch the cat at the edge of the room, the cat boy had no other place to go. They had reached a stalemate. Noah raised his wooden sword. That bread is special. I'm going to count to 3, and if you don't return it, I'm calling the royal guards. The bravado vanished instantly from the boy's face. His ears flattened completely. 1. The boy's eyes darted frantically, trying to find a place to run. But there was none. 2. Wait! He cried, scrambling back down the wall with surprising speed. Please don't call the guards. Why shouldn't I? The boy's lower lip trembled. They'll send us back. Back where? To Master Voron's estate. The words came out as barely a whisper. The slave pens. Noah's raised sword lowered slowly. Slave pens. The dam broke. Words poured from the small cat boy, accompanied by silent tears that matted his fur. Me and my sister escaped 3 days ago. The guards are looking for us. My sister got sick during our escape. She's hiding and can't move much, and I couldn't find food, and humans won't sell to beastkin without coin and— Slow down, Noah interrupted. Your sister, how old is she? The boy sniffled. 19 summers. I'm only 9. And she's sick. He nodded miserably. Feverish. Coughing. She won't wake up properly. Noah's anger evaporated. He crouched to the boy's level. What's your name? Gip. The boy clutched the bread tighter, as if expecting Noah to snatch it back. I'm Noah. He smiled gently. And that bread you stole? The special. It has healing magic. Kip's ears perked up slightly. Healing magic? It might help your sister. Noah stood, brushing dirt from his knees. Take me to her. The hopeful light in Kip's eyes extinguished instantly. His pupils narrowed to slits. No. You want to capture us. He backed away. Turn us in for the bounty. Kip, I promise. Humans always lie. The fur along his arms bristled. You just want to make us slaves again. Noah raised his hands placatingly. I want to help your sister. My bread is magical. It helps people heal faster. Kip's tail lashed back and forth, conflict playing across his young face. If you really want to help, he countered. Give me the bread and let me take it to her. You don't need to come. Chapter 23, Little Thief. 2. Noah considered it. The boy had a point. A strange human following him back to his hiding place would look like a trap. Okay. Noah nodded. Keep that loaf. It will help her. Relief washed over Kip's face, his ears rising hesitantly. Twitch, twitch. Really? Really? Noah nodded, giving the cat boy the loaf of bread. And if you need more, my shop is at. Before he could finish, Kip darted forward, his small arms wrapping around the loaf of bread. Then he was gone, vanishing down the alley with the bread clutched to his chest. Noah watched him disappear, mouth twitching with mixed emotions. Life is tough whether you're on Earth or in a magical medieval world. He continued toward his shop, the sword once again perched on his shoulder. One bread loaf wouldn't change the fate of 2 runaway slaves, but it might buy them a fighting chance. The bread should be enough to help with fever and illness. Esta's twin moons rose over the city walls. The sight was so beautiful that Noah found himself momentarily stunned. Wow! What a beautiful view! Noah reached his shop door, muscles screaming from Valeria's relentless training. The wooden practice sword felt heavier with each step. Inside, he grabbed a fresh loaf from the shelf. The bread's familiar aroma filled his nostrils as he took a generous bite. Warmth spread through his body. The dull ache in his muscles loosened, tension melting away like ice cream in summer heat. 2 birds, 1 stone. Food and healing in one package. His momentary satisfaction soured as he calculated the cost of his package. 3 golden coins, equivalent to $300. I just ate a $300 loaf of bread. Noah's mouth twitched at the absurdity. In what universe was bread worth more than premium steak? In this one, apparently. He consoled himself with a reasoning mind. The bread had accelerated his recovery, sparing him days of soreness. It was an investment in his physical well-being. Health is better than wealth. At least that's what people with health insurance say. Satisfied and healed, Noah stepped through the portal back to Earth. His apartment materialized around him, quiet and unchanged. He checked his phone, checking the time difference. Noah blinked at the screen. He'd spent roughly 5 hours in Esta, training with Valeria, chasing Kip through alleyways, walking back to his shop. 5 hours there, 2.5 here, a 2-to-1 time ratio. He collapsed onto his couch. For every 10 minutes in the magical world, only 5 minutes passed on Earth. He closed his eyes, just a short nap. He woke up clearer. Less fog, less strain in his limbs. He checked the time. Only 15 minutes. Not bad for a power nap. Or maybe the $300 bread finally kicked in. Either way, he got up, washed his face, changed into something casual, and headed outside. The air was refreshing, with the sun overhead improving the weather. I don't remember the last time I've headed out with such amazing weather. He wandered around his house. He had no plan, nor destination. Just walking for the first time in months or perhaps years without having to run an errand. He'd spent too long glued to a desk, buried in code, trying to make a startup work. Across the street, an ice cream truck was parked by the curb. He walked over. "1 vanilla cone," he said. "Sure thing," the vendor replied, already scooping. Noah reached for his wallet. SNRK. SNRK. Something tugged at his pants. He looked down. A small girl stared up at him. Couldn't be older than 5. She had round cheeks, wide eyes, and the kind of innocence that made the world feel less complicated. Cuteness overload is a real thing. Her fingers were still clinging to his jeans. "Uncle, can I have ice cream?" she asked, her wide eyes blinking at him with absolute confidence that the universe would provide ice cream if asked politely enough. Before he could answer, a woman rushed up. She had a black cap pulled low and sunglasses on. Her straight black hair flowed, reaching her lower back. "I'm so sorry. I was getting my wallet, and she just ran off." Noah shook his head. "It's fine." He looked at the girl again, her expression a perfect blend of hope and expectation. "What flavor would you like, little one?" "Vanilla," she said without hesitation. He handed her the cone he'd just ordered. She clutched it like it might disappear, her tiny hands barely able to wrap around it properly. "Thank you, Uncle." She beamed, smiling at him with unfiltered joy. "So cute. I'll get another for myself. And one for you, too," he said to the mother. "Oh, that's not necessary. It's fine." She hesitated, then gave a small nod. They waited in line again. Noah glanced at the little girl, now licking her cone like it was her life's work. "What's your name?" he asked. "Celine," she said, voice muffled through the ice cream. The mother smiled. "It means heavenly. It's from French." Noah nodded. Very fitting. He passed her the cone when it was ready. She took it, thanking him once again. Noah gave Celine a small wave and walked off toward the park. He didn't really need to buy the little girl and her mother ice cream. Didn't need to say anything. But the little girl was cute. Chapter 24. Life is getting better. Noah wandered through the park, savoring his ice cream. A group of children played tag near the fountain, their shrieks filling the park. An old couple sat on a bench feeding pigeons, their hands intertwined together. Normal life, continuing without him. Ring ring. The hospital? Hello. His heart skipped its customary beat of anxiety. "Mr. Carter, this is Dr. Ramirez. I've been reviewing your father's case." Noah tensed. "Has something changed?" "Actually, yes. His last blood work showed marked improvement. The infection markers we've been monitoring have decreased significantly." "That's good, right?" "It's unexpected. The treatment hasn't changed, but his body seems to be responding more effectively." The doctor paused before asking again. "Has he been taking any supplements we're unaware of?" Noah's ice cream was forgotten, dripping down his fingers.
No.
"Nothing new." The doctor nodded on the other side of the phone. Well, whatever it is, we're optimistic. His condition has stabilized enough that we're considering moving him to a standard room. Perhaps even discussing discharge options in the coming weeks. Noah found the nearest bench and took a seat. Thank you, doctor. He ended the call, staring at the melting cone in his hand. The ice cream had surrendered to the heat, white droplets of its territory on the pavement. Noah barely noticed. His father's health was improving after months of steady decline. It was such a sudden turnaround. 20 minutes later, he slid into a cab, a bag of premium fruit resting on his lap. Mangoes, strawberries, green grapes. The cab pulled away from the curb. Noah watched the city blur past. The same bills that had crushed him for months now seemed like mere inconveniences. Merely some temporary obstacles on a path suddenly brightened with possibility. Alan Carter looked up from his crossword puzzle as Noah entered. His face, though still thin, had more color than yesterday. His eyes brighter. "You've got that look," his father said by way of greeting. "What look?" "Like when you were 10 and tried to convince me you hadn't eaten all the cookies." Noah laughed, setting down the fruit. Alan eyed the bag. "More fruit? You're going to turn me into a macaw." "Doctor's orders. Vitamins, all of the healthy things." "Speaking of doctors, mine was in earlier. Said my numbers are improving." Noah pulled a chair closer. "That's what they told me." "Any idea why?" "Clean living and your excellent parenting." Alan bit into the strawberry. "Or maybe I'm just too stubborn to die." "Dad." "Sorry." He waved the half-eaten strawberry apologetically. Old man's humor. Noah unpacked the rest of the fruit, arranging it on the bedside tray. "So," Alan said, accepting a mango slice, "your mysterious new business venture. Still not sharing details." "It's complicated." Noah selected a grape. "But it's working." "Must be." His father gestured at the fruit spread. "You haven't splurged like this since your college graduation. Things change." "They do." Alan's voice softened. He reached for Noah's hand. "Thank you, son." Noah squeezed back, feeling the fragility of his dad's hands that were once strong enough to carry him. They talked for an hour, mostly about everything except Noah's sudden financial turnaround. Some mysteries, it seemed, were better left unexplored. When visiting hours ended, Noah stood to leave. Noah bent down for a quick, awkward hug. "Take care, Dad. I will see you soon." His dad nodded with a smile on his old face. "You too, son. See you soon." The journey home passed in contemplative silence. Soon enough, his apartment welcomed him with its embrace. Noah kicked off his shoes and headed to the kitchen to make some food. Let's see if yesterday's lesson stuck. What was his name again? Right, it was Chef Marcus. He fired up the burner, the orange flame dancing beneath the pan. The chicken hit the hot surface with a satisfying sizzle. Unlike before, Noah did not panic this time, nor frantically check the instructions either. Maybe it's the intelligence boost from the tea, or just confidence from actually succeeding yesterday. The garlic went in at exactly the right moment. Not too early to burn, not too late to miss flavor infusion. "Ah, smells delicious." Noah let out a soft moan, smelling the food he was cooking. Chef Marcus would be proud. The vegetables followed, vibrant bell peppers, sliced mushrooms wilting perfectly into the sauce. Each addition felt like a spell being cast. When he plated the finished dish, Noah stepped back, genuinely stunned by what he'd created. The chicken rested on a bed of vegetables, the sauce gleaming with richness that even restaurant meals sometimes lacked. "I actually made this," without watching a video tutorial at the same time. He had watched the video beforehand, but not whilst cooking it, which made him feel proud of himself. "You have learned the new skill. Cooking LVL.1. The notification appeared in his vision, confirmation that something fundamental had changed. Just like swordsmanship, cooking had become a quantifiable ability, a skill that could grow. Noah laughed, alone in his kitchen with his perfect meal and new skill notification. Hopefully it tastes good. Noah brought the spoon to his mouth and took a cautious bite. Flavors exploded across his tongue. The meal was savory, slightly tangy with depths he hadn't expected. The chicken was perfectly cooked, tender and juicy. Not just edible. It's actually good. The second bite was even better than the first. Chapter 25. Exploring the city. He finished every bite, savoring each mouthful like a victory. The plate was practically shining when he was done, wiped clean with the last piece of bread. 2 skills in a single day. Swordsmanship and cooking. Noah didn't sleep until he saw the 13 golden coins deposited into his assets. The daily income had been received. The next day arrived, with Noah starting his shift once again inside his store. What can I do to attract more customers? He paced the narrow space, considering his options. Word of mouth had brought him his current clientele, but relying on chance encounters felt inefficient. He needed a proper marketing strategy. I only have 7 days left in this place before the shop gets transported somewhere else. And I'm still far away from reaching the 1,000 shop points requirement to lock the location. I can't exactly stand at the plaza shouting about magical healing bread. People will think I'm a fool. The alleyway location was both a blessing and a curse, secluded enough to maintain mystery, but isolated enough to deter casual browsers. A sign. Something visible from the main street. Noah moved toward the door, already planning his trip to find a carpenter. He needed a proper billboard, something that screamed legitimate business rather than human trafficking. The bell chimed as the door swung open. Woodrow stood in the entrance, his face brightening at the sight of the door opening. The former knight's gait was noticeably smoother than yesterday. "Welcome, welcome. Good morning." Woodrow stepped inside, his eyes automatically landing on the shelves and the expanded inventory. "Your stock has grown. Business is picking up." Noah gestured toward the shelves. "Another loaf for your recovery? If you please." Woodrow reached for his coin pouch. The effect wore off during the night, but the improvement lingers. "I don't think I can survive a day without your bread." "You flatter me." Noah retrieved a fresh loaf. 3 gold coins. The transaction was completed without any haggling. Woodrow pocketed the bread, then paused, studying Noah. He looked like he was about to make an important decision. "If you develop any other products with similar properties, let me know. Price is not a problem." "Of course. When I unlock a new product, you will be the first to know. But that's only if I have enough shop points to stay in this place." The older man turned to leave, then stopped. "Where are you headed this morning? It seemed like you wanted to leave earlier." "Actually, I was hoping to find a carpenter. Need a wooden board for advertising." Noah gestured vaguely toward the alley entrance. "The location doesn't exactly help without one." Woodrow chuckled. "Understandable. You can head to the main plaza. There are several carpenters with stalls near the fountain. Ask for Master Henrik. Tell him Woodrow sent you, and he'll give you fair prices. A referral. Even better. Yet, people still ask me why I love my customers." "Host? Who asked you?" "System that's called ARG. I don't know what it's called, but it's a saying." "I see. Perfect. That was my destination anyway. Thank you for the referral. I will definitely inform you when a new product arrives." Woodrow beamed. "Thank you. Good luck." They exited together. The men parted ways at the plaza's edge, Woodrow disappearing into the crowd while Noah looked around the market stalls. The central fountain dominated the space, its upward-flowing water creating a breathtaking scene. Several carpentry stalls flanked the eastern edge. Noah approached the largest stall, where a barrel-chested man with a sawdust-covered apron hammered designs into a cabinet door. He seems to fit the description of Woodrow, at least. "Master Henrik, I presume?" The carpenter looked up, his hands never pausing in their work. "You need something built?" "A signboard. Advertising sign. Woodrow Taylor sent me." Henrik's expression shifted instantly from courtesy to genuine interest. "Old Woodrow? Haven't seen him in months. How's that leg treating him?" "Better, actually. He's been buying my healing bread." Shameless advertisement, but who cares? The carpenter's eyebrows climbed toward his receding hairline. His expression shifted from interest to suspicion faster than Noah could blink. Ah! Henrik picked up his hammer again, suddenly very focused on his cabinet work. One of those. Eh? Listen, son. The carpenter's voice carried the weary tone of someone who'd heard every sales pitch imaginable. I'm sure your bread is special, but I've got real work to do. Try the tourist stalls by the east gate. Oh no. Host. You made the carpenter think you are a scammer. Thanks for that brilliant observation system. Wait. Noah raised his hands. I'm not trying to sell you bread. I really do need a sign made. Henrik continued hammering, each strike a bit more aggressive than necessary. Sure you do. Woodrow Taylor really did send me. Ask him yourself. Woodrow's a good man. The hammer paused mid-swing. Which is why I don't appreciate con artists using his name. This is going spectacularly. Noah dug into his pocket, producing several gold coins. Look, I have money. Real money. I just need a wooden sign. Henrik glanced at the coins, his expression softening slightly. Gold's real enough. The bread thing, I wasn't trying to sell you anything. I was just explaining how I know Woodrow. Aha! The carpenter set down his hammer, studying Noah with renewed interest. And this magical healing bread of yours. What's it cost? Here we go again. 3 gold coins per loaf. Henrik snorted. 3 gold for bread? You are running a scam. It's not regular bread. Like I said, it has healin'. Noah caught himself mid-sentence. Focus. Anyways, why are we talking about my bread? He gestured toward the carpenter's workshop. I'm here to buy from you. Henrik's hammer paused mid-swing. The suspicion in his eyes didn't fade, but confusion crept in alongside it. You don't have to believe me. Noah kept his voice level. Desperate salesmen never inspire confidence or make any sales. When you see Woodrow, you can ask him yourself. The carpenter studied Noah's face, searching for tells that might reveal deception. Years of dealing with customers had given Henrik a keen eye for liars and charlatans. What kind of sign? Henrik set down his hammer. Finally, simple wooden board. Something that says magical store. Noah pulled out his gold coins. Nothing elaborate. The sight of real money worked magic that words couldn't. Size. Big enough to read from the main street. Maybe 3 feet wide. Henrik nodded slowly. Painted lettering or carved? Whatever's cheaper but still looks legitimate. 10 silvers. Give me an hour. Henrik extended a sawdust-covered hand. Noah nodded, placing a golden coin on the workbench. I don't have silver coins. Can you give me change? Henrik nodded, counting out 90 silver coins before sliding them across the wood. The metal clinked softly as Noah pocketed the unfamiliar currency. With an hour to kill, Noah decided to explore the city properly. His last venture had been cut short by Princess Alera's dramatic carriage intervention. Time to see what Esta has to offer. The plaza opened before him like a living tapestry. Merchants hawked everything from glowing trinkets to exotic spices that made his nose water. Street performers juggled balls of light while children clapped in delight. I need to try some of the food. His stomach reinforced the decision with a subtle growl. Sure, he could eat his own magical bread, but $300 per meal seemed excessive. A food stall caught his attention. Smoke rising from a grill where skewered meat sizzled over open flame. The vendor, a woman with flour-dusted aprons, smiled as he approached. Fresh grilled skewers. Herb-crusted beef. Only 10 bronze coins. Noah handed over a silver coin before shortly receiving the change. Enjoy! The vendor handed him the stick, accepting a wooden stick loaded with perfectly charred meat. The first bite exploded with flavor, smoky, savory, with herbs he couldn't identify but definitely wanted more of. This is amazing, and it costs less than a cup of coffee back home. Chapter 26. The City of Esta. He wandered deeper into the market with the meat skewer in hand. Esta felt alive in ways earth markets never could. A bakery stall made him pause. The baker, An elderly man with kind eyes displayed an array of normal bread. He had golden loaves, twisted rolls, and pastries that looked handcrafted with love. "Morning, young man. Something catch your eye?" Noah studied the selection. "What's your most popular item?" "Honey wheat rolls. My grandmother's recipe." The baker's pride was evident. "3 for 1 silver. Reasonable price." "I'll take 3. Noah bit into a roll, savoring the subtle sweetness and perfect texture. This guy knows his craft. A commotion near the fountain drew his attention. A crowd had gathered around something he couldn't see, voices rising in excitement and concern. Probably street entertainment, or a fight. His curiosity won, making him approach it. He walked between spectators until he could see the center of attention. "Excuse me." "Sorry." Noah pushed through the crowd, expecting to find street performers or some kind of entertainment. Instead, his blood chilled at the sight before him. A fat man in rich purple velvet dominated the space. Baron Richard, judging by the whispered conversations around Noah. The nobleman's obesity strained against his embroidered doublet, gold chains draped across his chest. Rings glittered on every finger, each probably worth more than most people in this place earned in a year. But Noah's attention was fixed on the small figure cowering at the baron's feet. "Gip." The catboy's black ears were flattened against his skull, his yellow-green eyes darting desperately for escape. His small hands were bound behind his back with coarse rope that had already rubbed his wrists raw. A tall, lean servant gripped his shoulder with his firm hands. "Where is your sister, beastkin?" Baron Richard's lazy voice carried out. Kip's mouth remained stubbornly shut, defiance flickering in his young eyes despite the terror. "I don't know." The crowd watched with interest. It wasn't every day that you saw a runaway slave being caught. "Answer your master," the servant hissed, pulling out a short leather whip from his belt. Snap! The whip sound echoed across the plaza. Kip cried out. A red welt bloomed across the boy's shoulder, visible through his torn shirt. Enough! Noah forced his expression into becoming neutral, burying the rage that threatened to explode from his chest. Talking about human or animal rights wouldn't save Kip, in fact, it would be unwise. So he spoke in a language that everyone understood. Chapter 27. Kip and Alyssa. He pushed through the final layer of onlookers, approaching the Baron. "Is he yours?" Noah pointed at Kip, keeping his voice level. Kip's eyes widened with desperate hope. His mouth opened. Noah shot him a sharp glare. "Don't. Not yet." The boy's expression shifted to understanding. Whatever fragile trust existed between them, Kip grasped the importance of playing along. Baron Richard's gaze traveled up and down Noah, taking in the foreign clothes with obvious disdain. "Yes, he's mine," the Baron replied slowly. "Though I've never seen you before. Strange clothes. I really need to buy some local clothing, but that's for another time." "Irrelevant." Noah reached for his coin pouch. "How much?" The Baron's eyebrows climbed toward his receding hairline. "You want to buy him?" "Yes. And you mentioned a sister?" "I want her too." Interest sparked in Richard's beady eyes. He had the look of a merchant scenting profit. He stroked his multiple chins thoughtfully. "I don't know where his sister is hiding. The little wretch escaped 3 days ago. But she remains my property. If you purchase her, you'll need to locate her yourself." "No problem." Noah nodded curtly. 5 gold coins. That's expensive. Noah calculated quickly, expensive but manageable given his daily income. Despite not knowing Kip and the fact that the kid tried to steal from him, Noah still felt like he could help. He knew that he wouldn't abolish slavery in this place, or buy every single slave and free them. Still, he wanted to help Kip and his sister. Something about the kid fighting for himself and his sister resonated with Noah. He reminded him of himself when his dad was hospitalized. "All right." The Baron's eyes raised, before his expression turned into a smirk. "Shit, I made a mistake. Now he thinks I have money to burn." Noah did not haggle with the Baron over the price. "For one of them, that is." Richard's smile turned predatory. "For both slaves, It's 10 gold coins. Noah's eyes narrowed. The Baron was openly extorting him, banking on Noah's obvious desire to help. Bastard. Done. Noah pulled out his pouch, counting the required amount. Each coin clinked against the next. Baron Richard's fat fingers closed around the gold with obvious satisfaction. Pleasure doing business. The boy is yours. The servant released Kip's shoulder, shoving him toward Noah with unnecessary force. The catboy stumbled but didn't fall, yellow eyes fixed on his unexpected savior. Noah grasped Kip's bound hands, feeling the rope cuts on small wrists. "Come on," he said quietly, guiding the boy away from the crowd. Behind them, Baron Richard's laughter could be heard across the plaza. After all, he had made 10 times the profit from that sale. He had bought the siblings for a mere golden coin and sold them for 10. The crowd dispersed as the entertainment ended, returning to their daily routines as if nothing significant had occurred. They reached his shop alleyway before Noah finally spoke. "Are you hurt?" His voice came out rougher than intended. Kip looked up, confusion and gratitude warring in his expression. You bought me. What do you want me to do now?" The question hit Noah like a punch to the gut. Of course he thinks I want something. That's how his world works. Noah ruffled the catboy's head, feeling the soft fur between his ears. "I didn't buy you. I paid for your freedom. I don't want anything from you. You can do what you want." Kip's yellow-green eyes widened to the size of dinner plates. "Really?" Noah nodded with a smile. "Really? So, I can go now." There it is. Noah's mouth twitched. The little catboy's first instinct was always flight. Freedom meant running, apparently. "Yes, you can leave." Boo! Whoosh! Before Noah could finish his sentence, Kip had already transformed into a black blur. His small feet pattered against the cobblestones in rapid-fire succession. Pat, 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 pat. "Wait, I was going to say..." Noah called after the disappearing figure. Poof! Kip vanished around the corner like smoke. Sigh! Noah stood alone in the alleyway, one hand still raised mid-gesture. This little cat. Every single time. Give him healing bread? He runs. Give him freedom? He runs. I'm starting to see a pattern here. He shrugged it off and headed back to his shop. The encounter with Baron Richard had soured his mood for city exploration. 10 gold coins, while absolutely worth it, still stung his entrepreneur's soul. That's 3 days of bread sales, gone in 30 seconds. Inside his shop, Noah settled onto his rickety stool and pulled up his status screen. Idle Tycoon System. Host: Noah Carter. Age 28. Shops 1. Daily revenue: $1,300. Current assets: $1,700.42. Shop points: 140. Attributes: Strength 4, Vitality 4, Intelligence 7, Agility 3. Skills: Programming, Level 2. Finance, Level 1. Surviving on ramen, Level 3. Previously, he'd had $2,700. The income came from his recent sales and daily revenue accumulation. Now it was reduced to $1,700. $1,000 to free a catboy. The most expensive good deed of my life. But staring at the numbers, Noah found he didn't regret it. Money was renewable. His daily income would restore those funds within days. Kip's freedom, however, had been a one-time opportunity. Besides, knowing that little furball is running free instead of cowering in a slave pen? Totally worth it. Even if the ungrateful little beast didn't stick around to say thank you. Meanwhile, in the depths of Esta's forgotten corners, Kip's small feet carried him through small passages and crumbling archways, past the places where even beggars feared to tread. His heart hammered against his ribs, not from exertion, but from pure, overwhelming joy. Free. We're actually free. The abandoned district appeared before him, a graveyard of broken dreams and rotting timber. Here, among the skeletal remains of abandoned people, the poor quarter, his sister waited. He found her in their usual hiding spot, a narrow alley, forgotten by the world. The space was smaller than Noah's shop, darker than his own alleyway, and infinitely more desperate. Alyssa! Kip burst into their makeshift shelter, tears streaming down his furred cheeks. His sister looked up from where she sat propped against a moldy wall. At 16, Alyssa shared his cat-like features but carried herself like someone forced to grow up too fast. Her silver ears twitched at his approach, concern flooding her golden eyes. Kip! What happened? She struggled to sit straighter, still weak despite the magical bread's effects. The half-eaten loaf rested beside her, their most precious possession, consumed in tiny portions to maximize its healing properties and because they had no money to buy food. Every crumb represented hope. They carefully rationed it like liquid gold. We're free! The words exploded from Kip's mouth in a rush of excitement and disbelief. Sister, we're actually free! Alyssa's ears flattened. Free? That's impossible. We're slaves. What are you talking about? Kip collapsed beside her, his small hands gesturing wildly as words tumbled over each other. The man who gave us the bread, he found me. Baron Richard caught me at the plaza. But the man appeared and bought our freedom. Bought us? Alyssa's expression darkened. Someone purchased you as a slave? No, no. Kip shook his head frantically. He bought me from the Baron, but then he said I was free. Actually free. He didn't want anything from me. Alyssa stared at her brother, searching his face for deception or delusion, but Kip's eyes blazed with unmistakable truth. Someone freed us? Just like that? He spent 10 gold coins, Kip continued, his voice dropping to an odd whisper. 10 whole gold coins for both of us. Even though he doesn't know where you are. Alyssa's breath caught. 10 gold coins represented more wealth than their family had seen in their entire lives. For a stranger to spend such a fortune on 2 runaway beast kin, it's impossible. People don't do that. Do you know where our benefactor lives? She asked quietly. Kip's ears drooped. I ran away right after. You what? Alyssa's voice sharpened. How did you not ask him for anything? How can we thank our benefactor? Is that what I taught you? The young catboy's head hung in shame. Sorry. I was just excited to let you know. Of course he ran. Alyssa sighed, pulling her brother into a gentle embrace. He's still just a child, despite everything we've been through. All right, it's okay, Kip. She stroked his black ears, feeling him relax against her. I understand. Someone had freely given them something beyond price, their lives. Such generosity demanded acknowledgement, gratitude, and proper respect. Mother always said debts of kindness were the most sacred. Do you know his name at least? His name is Noah. Kip perked up, relieved to have at least one useful detail. Noah. Alyssa committed the name to memory. Our savior is named Noah. She stared at the magical bread beside her, the first gift from this mysterious benefactor. His healing properties had literally saved her life, and now he'd saved both their lives again. How do you repay someone who asks for nothing in return? Kip, she said softly, we need to find this benefactor Noah. We're going to thank him properly. Noah, Alyssa thought, testing the name on her lips before a soft smile broke out. Thank you. Chapter 28, Biggest Transaction. Noah settled onto his rickety stool. I've been slacking. Between city exploration and impromptu slave liberations, he'd barely maintained regular business hours. What kind of entrepreneur abandoned his shop for adventures? What if customers come here and find the place closed? Who's going to reimburse me for those losses? He crossed his arms and leaned back against the stone wall, feeling the cool surface through his shirt. His shelves contained products that could change lives, yet here they were, sitting there on his shelves. I really need to buy some kind of mattress, or at least a comfortable chair. The wooden stool felt like it was actively plotting against his spine. His eyelids grew heavy in the silent shop. Just a quick rest. Maybe 5 minutes. Sleep crept in like a familiar thief, stealing his consciousness one breath at a time. The bell's cheerful chime jolted him back up. Noah's eyes snapped open, blinking away the fog of unplanned napping. He rubbed his eyes, trying to look professional rather than like someone who'd been drooling on his own counter. Princess Alara stood in the doorway, her amber eyes sparkling with obvious amusement. "Good afternoon, Noah." Her voice barely contained her laughter. "I hope I'm not interrupting anything important. Like my impromptu coma?" "No, not at all." Noah straightened on his stool, acutely aware of how undignified he must look. "Your Highness, welcome to my shop." She stepped inside, her gaze sweeping over the organized shelves before returning to his sleep-rumpled appearance. "Comfortable furniture might be a wise investment," she observed, closing the door behind her. "Great. Even royalty thinks my setup is pathetic." "It's on my wish list," Noah replied, attempting to save his dignity while sitting on what amounted to a wooden torture device. The princess's smile widened, suggesting his efforts at composure were less successful than hoped. This is either going very well or very badly. With her, it's impossible to tell the difference. "James brought me that iced tea," she said, nodding toward the glass bottles. "It's quite tasty, I must say, and very effective too." "Thank you, Your Highness. That's why I'm here to place a daily order." "Huh? I want all your iced teas. Every single day." Noah's heart exploded into overdrive. "God is rewarding me for freeing Kip. This is massive." Visions of gold coins danced in his head. Daily bulk orders from the crown? Financial security beyond his wildest dreams? He took a deep breath, forcing his excitement into check before responding. The answer shocked him and Alara.
"No."
"Ha!" Princess Alara's face transformed into pure shock. "Why? I just turned down tens of gold coins. Am I insane?" "Your Highness, my supply is limited." Noah kept his voice steady despite his racing pulse. "If the crown buys all my stock, what am I supposed to sell to other customers?" For a moment, silence stretched between them. Then Alara's smile returned. "You're right." She stroked her chin thoughtfully. "A merchant who alienates his customer base won't last long." "Okay. How much can you allocate to the crown from your daily stock?" Noah raced through calculations. 6 iced teas are produced daily. If I sell 3 to the crown, I keep 3 for walk-in customers. Actually, iced tea is quite expensive. It's very difficult to sell. I'm better off selling more to the crown whilst keeping stock for some rich walk-ins. "For iced teas per day," he announced. 40 gold coins. "Deal. I'll send someone to collect the goods daily. Pleasure doing business with you." "You too, Your Highness. The guard will start the delivery process from tomorrow, then." Noah nodded. "No problem." She paused, eyeing the current inventory. "Also, can I take today's full stock? Or am I limited to 4? 12 glass bottles caught the afternoon light, each one worth a small fortune. You can take 10 out of 12 if you want." "Deal." She beamed with genuine delight. She took out a heavy pouch from her robes, landing on his counter with the clink of gold. 100 gold coins. "I'm rich. Actually rich." Noah stared at the pouch, trying to process the magnitude of what had just happened. Yesterday, he'd been worried about loan sharks. Now he had royal contracts and more gold than he'd ever seen. "I just made $10,000 in one transaction." Chapter 29. Learning a new skill. Alara walked closer to collect her purchases when suddenly the glass bottles vanished in front of Noah. Noah's eyes widened in shock. One moment, 10 glass bottles sat on his counter. The next, it was empty air. "Is that the rumored storage ring? I've never seen her use it before." "Your Highness, was that a storage ring?" She nodded with a mischievous grin. "Do you want one?" Noah's head bobbed like an overexcited chicken. "How much?" "They're quite expensive." Her paws stretched dramatically. "But I'll give it to you for free." "Free? Why?" Noah's business instincts screamed suspicion. "You always buy my items. I've never given you anything for free." Her smile widened dangerously. "Not everyone's a cheapskate. Besides, consider it a friendship gift." A simple black ring appeared in her palm. It had a matte finish and no decorative carvings. It was utterly unremarkable except for its magical function of storage. Noah slipped it onto his finger, waiting for some kind of mystical sensations or magical awareness. Nothing happened. He concentrated harder, trying to probe the ring's interior. Still nothing. Sigh, you can't access the ring without probing into it using your mana. How do I do that? Really? Genuine surprise colored her voice. Really? I just lost my mysterious shopkeeper aura. I should have acted nonchalant. Think of mana like breathing, she began, settling onto the counter's edge. You don't think about breathing normally, but you can control it consciously. Noah closed his eyes, trying to feel something beyond his normal senses. Mana flows around us constantly. Imagine it as invisible water, surrounding your body. Feel for the current. Minutes passed. Noah felt absolutely nothing except growing embarrassment. Try this. Imagine your breath has color. When you exhale, see it glowing softly around your hands. Glowing breath, right? What color? Blue? Red? More time passed. Noah's concentration wavered between focus and frustration. Don't force it, Alara coached. Mana responds to gentle awareness, not brute effort. Like trying to remember a happy memory you can't quite recall. Something flickered, not vision exactly, but a strange tingling sensation in his fingertips. Wait, was that? The feeling vanished immediately. I felt something. For like half a second. Excellent. Again. The process repeated. Noah kept having fleeting contact before losing and restarting again. But with each attempt, he lasted slightly longer than the last. 30 minutes. 45. An hour. Finally, Noah opened his eyes with a gasp. You have learned the new skill. Mana Control LVL.1. Finally. I can finally feel the mana around me. Soon I will be able to throw fireballs and perhaps fly? I've troubled you too much, Noah said, guilt replacing his feeling of achievement. Sorry about that. I enjoyed it. Alara shook her head. I'll come another time. Maybe we can continue then. That would be great. Thank you. As she moved toward the door, Noah called out, Wait! He hurried to the shelves, selecting a golden loaf. Here, you can have this. I know it's not much, but it's what I have. Alara's eyes immediately fixated on the more expensive section. I'm quite thirsty. She gazed longingly at the remaining iced tea bottles. This princess is as subtle in her request as a brick to the face. I'm feeling quite thirsty too. There's a water vendor over there. Noah's thick skin activated fully. Why don't we go have some together? The princess's mouth twitched dangerously before she burst into laughter. You're absolutely shameless. All right, let's go get some water then. Her eyes sparkled with mischief. But you're buying. That's fair enough, princess. Water's cheaper than 10 gold coin tea after all. As they headed toward the vendor, Noah couldn't help but grin. He'd gained a new skill. Idle Tycoon System. Host. Noah Carter. Age 28. Shops 1. Daily revenue, $1,300. Current assets, $12,700.42. Shop points, 240. Attributes, strength, 4, vitality, 4, intelligence, 7, agility, 3. Skills, swordsmanship, level 1, mana control, level 1, programming, level 2, finance, level 1, surviving on ramen, level 3. Thank you for the lesson, Noah said finally after taking a sip of the water. Thank you for the entertainment. Tomorrow, my guard will collect the usual order. She departed with royal grace, leaving Noah alone with his thoughts. The afternoon sun slanted lower, creating shadows across the plaza. Since I'm already out, I should collect the billboard from Henrik's carpentry stall. He'd completely forgotten after the incident with Kip. Hope he actually finished it. Henrik looked up from his current project. Ah, it's you again. Sawdust coated the man's beard like snow. Your sign's ready. I had almost thought that you would not come back today. I was about to leave soon. Relief flooded through Noah. Oh, it's good that you didn't. Perfect timing. Henrik disappeared behind his workbench, emerging with a rectangular wooden board, with some simple yet elegant black writing. It looks professional and legitimate. Exactly what I needed. Beautiful work. Noah examined the clean lines and precise lettering. This should draw more customers. About that. Henrik's expression grew curious. Had 3 people ask about healing bread today. Noah's pulse quickened. Word spreads fast in this city. Really? What did they ask about specifically? Just asking around, following rumors. Henrik wiped sawdust from his hands. I told them I'd heard the same stories. And they wanted to know the price. Here we go. The moment of truth. What did you tell them? What I heard from you. 3 gold coins per loaf. Noah braced himself. And their reaction? Henrik's mouth twisted into something between sympathy and resignation. They said nothing, just walked away quietly. Of course they did. Not everyone has 3 gold coins in this city, the carpenter continued, his tone matter-of-fact rather than judgmental. How many people can actually afford that price? Noah asked, though he suspected he knew the answer. Henrik shrugged. Nobles, merchants, adventurers. Maybe a few dozen families in the entire city. Noah stared at the sign in his hands. He thanked Henrik and headed back to his shop. Chapter 30. Alyssa. Upon arriving near his shop's alleyway, familiar voices drifted through the air. Are you sure this was where he took you? Yes, big sister. Kip's voice carried wounded pride. I'm not lying. Alyssa pinched her nose softly. Kip, I never said you are lying. But you might be mistaken. I was just making sure. A soft sigh followed, escaping her mouth. Come on, let's go. He probably brought you here because it's an abandoned alleyway where no one would overhear your conversation. Kip's ears drooped audibly in the silence that followed. Disappointment radiated from the small cat boy as his sister dismissed their search. Noah quickened his pace, rounding the corner just as 2 figures began to exit the alleyway. He barreled straight into the taller figure, a young catgirl walking distracted. The impact sent both tumbling backward, landing on cobblestones. Thud, thud, ouch. Kip, trailing behind his sister, immediately bristled with protective jealousy as he saw her fall from the impact. Watch where you. His yellow eyes locked onto the fallen stranger. Sir Noah. Sir Noah? When did I get promoted to nobility? Kip. And? As her brother muttered the name, understanding flooded her amber eyes. Alyssa. She introduced herself, her voice soft, clearly nervous. Noah found himself staring. Goo. Where Kip possessed sharp, mischievous features, his sister carried an elegant beauty that transcended species. Black fur covered her arms and face, while silver ears, the same shade as moonlight, twitched every now and then. But what drew Noah's attention most was her tail. It's wagging so much. It was a back-and-forth motion that betrayed her excitement despite her appearing composed. The sight pulled an involuntary smile from Noah's lips as she spoke. We've been looking for you, Sir Noah. We needed to thank you properly for your kindness. Kip bounced on his toes, his ears perked with energy. I told you it was here. I wasn't wrong. You did. Alyssa's gaze never left Noah's face, searching for something. The wagging tail continued its gentle rhythm. Noah wondered if she realized she was doing it. She came looking for me, just to thank me, despite being sick? You didn't need to find me, Noah said, standing and offering Alyssa a hand up. I told Kip he was free. That includes both of you. She accepted his help, rising with fluid grace. Freedom was your first gift. Proper thanks is our responsibility. First gift? What's the second? Her tail wagged faster now, betraying excitement that her composed expression couldn't quite hide. Noah's smile widened. Something told him this conversation was just beginning. Noah guided the cat siblings into his humble shop, immediately aware of how bare the space looked through their eyes. One rickety stool, empty shelves except his precious inventory. Sorry about the accommodations. There's no proper seating to offer you. Alyssa's hands fluttered frantically in the air, her silver ears twitching with embarrassment. It's okay. It's okay. We can stand perfectly fine. She's being polite, but those trembling legs tell a different story. Noah retrieved his lone stool, positioning it near the counter. If you get tired, please sit. No need to stand on ceremony. Alyssa's expression turns into gratitude as she nodded. Her tail gave a subtle wag of appreciation. She's still recovering, probably trying to look strong for her brother. Noah's gaze sharpened as he studied her posture. How are you feeling? The illness from before. Everything's fine now. Her response came too quickly, too bright. Liar. His eyes narrowed slightly, catching the way she avoided direct eye contact. Her tail betrayed her again, wagging with nervous energy that contradicted her confident words. Noah shifted his attention to Kip, who watched his sister with obvious concern. How is she doing? Did she eat the bread I gave you? Kip's ears drooped. She only ate a quarter. A quarter? Of healing bread? We barely have food, the young catboy continued, his voice small. So we're using the healing bread as regular food too, so we don't starve. She even forced me to eat some of her portion. Of course she did, sacrificing her own healing to feed her younger brother. Noah looked back at Alyssa, who had suddenly found the shop's floorboards fascinating. Her tail had stopped wagging entirely. Pride and love, a dangerous combination when you're starving. He sighed, moving toward the shelf. His fingers closed around a fresh golden loaf. Here. He pressed the bread into Alyssa's surprised hands. Eat this. All of it. I can't. She started to protest. You can and you will. Noah's tone suggested no argument. Consider it payment for finding my shop and bringing me such a heartwarming reunion. Kip's eyes brightened. Alyssa stared at the warm loaf, her composure finally cracking. Sir Noah. Just Noah. She shook her head, pushing his hand away with trembling fingers. I can't. I'm sorry. You've done so much for us already. Spent so much. Tears spilled over, tracing down her dark fur. She turned her face away, her shoulders hunching with shame and weakness. Too much. His kindness is too much, she thought. Noah's gaze turned to Kip. The young catboy's eyes had gone wide with panic, the kind of desperate confusion that comes from seeing your pillar of strength crumble. He rarely sees his sister cry. Kip looked between them, helpless. His ears flattened against his skull as he searched Noah's face with desperate hope. Maybe Sir Noah can pull another miracle. I'm really bad in those times. I don't know what to say or do. Noah stepped closer to the trembling catgirl. His hand settled gently on her head, his fingers threading through the soft fur between her ears. She tensed at first, every instinct screaming against accepting comfort. But something in his touch was comforting. Slowly, her rigid posture melted. It's okay, Noah murmured, continuing the gentle stroking motion. It's just bread. It's not, though. Her voice cracked with her suppressed emotion. This bread must be expensive. I can't take it without doing anything in return. She needs to do something in return. Very dignified. Noah studied her tear-stained face, then glanced at Kip's anxious expression. An idea began forming, one that could solve multiple problems at once. Alyssa. He kept his voice soft, fingers still moving through her fur. What are you good at? The question seemed to calm her. Her breathing steadied under his gentle touch. What do you mean? She tilted her head, her amber eyes meeting his for the first time since breaking down. People have different talents. Noah's hand maintained its soothing rhythm. A baker bakes bread. A carpenter works wood. What are your skills? Understanding dawned in her expression, hope replacing despair. I'm good at cleaning, cooking, household management. Her voice grew stronger with each word. Things like that. She glanced at her brother. Kip's excellent at cleaning too, though he hasn't learned cooking yet. Perfect. Chapter 31. Shopkeepers. After several minutes of negotiation and gentle persuasion, Noah and Alyssa reached an agreement that left both siblings staring at him with barely contained disbelief. 1 gold coin per day will be shared between the siblings as a salary for cleaning his modest shop and occasionally preparing meals when he felt too lazy to cook for himself. I'm essentially paying them a small fortune for basic housekeeping. Alyssa's tail hadn't stopped wagging since he'd made the offer. Her amber eyes shimmered with something between gratitude and determination, the look of someone who'd been drowning and suddenly found land. We won't disappoint you, I promise. Kip bounced on his toes beside her. Can we start tomorrow? I'm really good at organizing things. This kid's enthusiasm is infectious. Noah smiled, watching their transformation from desperate refugees to eager employees. The gold coin represented more than a payment to the two siblings. It was dignity, purpose, a chance to earn their place in the world rather than simply existing on charity. Start whenever you're ready. He gestured around the sparse shop. Though I should warn you, there is a lot of dust around. Leave that to us. By the time we are done, this place will sparkle. Something tells me she's not exaggerating. Do you have any cleaning supplies? Noah glanced around his sparse shop, taking inventory of absolutely nothing useful for cleaning. Nope. Alyssa's ears drooped slightly. Can't clean without tools. Here. Noah counted out 50 silver coins, the metal clinking softly in her palm. Should cover whatever you need to get. Her eyes widened. This is more than enough. She disappeared with Kip in tow, returning within minutes carrying a modest bundle of cleaning rags, soap made from animal fat and ash, and a broom. Alyssa began with the shelves, careful around the precious bread loaves and glass bottles of iced tea. 10 minutes later, Noah stood slack-jawed. The floor gleamed. Dust had vanished from corners he hadn't even noticed were dirty. His humble shop looked clean. Well done. Pink bloomed beneath her dark fur. Thank you. She's actually blushing. That's adorable. They talked as the afternoon faded, about Esta and various other things. Noah learned that Alyssa had managed a noble household before their enslavement. Unfortunately, that noble household had gone bankrupt and was forced to sell Alyssa and Kip. As evening approached, Noah pressed the remaining silver she had returned to him into her reluctant hands. Find shelter tonight. Get yourselves some proper beds. Sir, that's not a request. His tone brooked no argument. Come back tomorrow. Rested. I'd let them stay here, but it's not allowed. Alyssa bowed deeply. Thank you, Alyssa whispered, for everything. Seeing his sister, Kip immediately followed suit. Thank you. They left clutching their coins and cleaning supplies, disappearing into Esta's twilight. Noah locked his sparkling shop and stepped through the portal. He appeared back in his small apartment. The shower called to him, hot water cascading down his body. Clean and exhausted, Noah collapsed into bed. The next day arrived with familiar sunlight streaming through Noah's apartment windows. He rolled out of bed and immediately checked his status, the blue interface materializing in front of him. Idle Tycoon System. Host, Noah Carter. Age 28. Shops 1. Daily revenue, $1,300. Current assets, $13,950.42. Shop points, 240. Attributes, strength, 4, vitality, 4, intelligence, 7, agility, 3. Skills, swordsmanship, level 1, mana control, level 1, programming, level 2, finance, level 1, surviving on ramen, level 3, nearly $30,000. A few days ago I was dodging debt collectors. The daily revenue had kicked in overnight, his royal contract paying dividends even while he slept. Noah allowed himself a moment to appreciate the absurdity of earning more in his sleep than most people made in months. After washing up, he stepped through the portal into his medieval shop. Morning light filtered through the small window, illuminating his freshly stocked shelves. 12 golden bread loaves gleamed in perfect rows, but the iced tea section remained empty, his automaker still working on the day's first batch. Princess Alara's guard should arrive soon for the daily pickup. Noah opened the shop door, letting fresh air circulate through the small space. Ah, the smell of Frito cats? Two familiar figures sat outside like patient sentinels. What are you doing here? Alyssa looked up from where she'd been organizing their cleaning supplies. Her silver ears twitched with mild embarrassment. You didn't tell us when to come, she said. We've been here since sunrise. Kip nodded eagerly beside her. We didn't want to be late on our first official day. Sunrise. They've been sitting here for over an hour. Noah scratched the back of his head, guilt warming his cheeks. Sorry about that. I should have been more specific. It's fine. Alyssa's tail wagged as she stood. We brought breakfast. She produced a small cloth bundle that smelled delicious. These two are going to spoil me. Before Noah could respond, the sound of armored footsteps echoed through the alleyway. A royal guard rounded the corner. Not the mountain-sized captain from before, but a younger man. Daily collection for Her Highness, he announced without preamble. Noah retrieved 4 glass bottles from his rapidly diminishing stock of iced teas. The transaction completed quickly. 40 gold coins exchanged hands while Kip and Alyssa watched with barely concealed awe. For $1,000. Just like that, the guard departed with royal punctuality, leaving Noah with significantly heavier pockets and 2 very impressed employees. That was... Kip's voice trailed off as he stared at the gold coins. His assets had jumped to nearly $18,000. Not bad for a morning's work. Kip and Alyssa followed Noah into the shop, their eyes immediately scanning for work to be done. The floors still gleamed from yesterday's efforts, every surface free of dust. Alyssa's silver ears drooped as realization set in. Nothing to clean. Noah chuckled at her disappointed expression. Forget about cleaning for now. There's nothing dirty. Let's see what you brought to eat. Chapter 32. Shopkeepers. 2. Her ears perked up instantly, tail giving a subtle wag. She retrieved a cloth bundle from the shelf, unwrapping it with careful precision. Barley cakes with honey, she announced, arranging the golden brown rounds on a wooden tray, and dried apple slices. Simple but filling. The aroma filled the small shop, warm grain, sweet honey, and the comforting scent of home cooking. Smells delicious. Noah grabbed the tray and placed it on the floor, settling down cross-legged. Kip and Alyssa remained standing like dutiful servants, hands clasped behind their backs. He paused with a barley cake halfway to his mouth. What are you both doing? Nothing. Kip's innocent expression fooled no one. Sit down. They both dropped to the floor, their backs straight as if soldiers awaiting inspection by their commander. They look like cute little statues. Noah sighed. Eat. Don't just sit there. Kip's hand twitched toward the food before Alyssa's gentle pinch stopped him cold. Ouch! He rubbed his arm, looking aggrieved. Sir, you should eat first. Once you're finished, we can eat whatever remains, if you allow us. They think I'm some kind of tyrant who hoards breakfast. Noah's mouth twitched. What are you saying? Let's eat together. Do I look like such a big back to you? Alyssa tilted her head, confusion evident. Big back. Heavy eater. Glutton. Noah waved his hand dismissively. Anyway, eat with me. Otherwise, I'll be upset with you. The threat, hollow as it was, made Alyssa's ears flatten with worry. Her tail curled around her legs protectively. We can eat together? Of course. Noah broke a barley cake in half, offering pieces to each sibling. Shop rule 1. We share meals. Kip accepted his portion eagerly, but Alyssa still hesitated. Her amber eyes darted between Noah and the food like she was solving a complex puzzle. She's overthinking this. Alyssa. Noah's voice carried a gentle tone. That's an order from your employer. Finally, her shoulders relaxed. If it were a command, she could accept it without guilt. They ate in comfortable silence. Honey sweetened the air while contented munching sounds filled the air between them. This is nice. It's like having a family breakfast. I haven't shared a meal with someone in a very long time. As the three of them ate in silence, the door swung open with its familiar chime of the bell. Valeria stepped inside. Her eyes swept the scene. Noah sitting cross-legged on the floor, with two catkins sharing breakfast like some bizarre family portrait. "Oh, what do we have here?" Her eyebrow arched with interest. Alyssa's head dropped immediately, shame radiating from her hunched shoulders. "He was caught eating with us. His reputation is ruined now." Slaves were never allowed to eat on the same table as their owner. To be seen doing that by others might cause issues to that owner, as he is out of the ordinary. "We have food here. What else?" Noah rolled his eyes at Valeria's dramatics. "Do you want to join us?" The guild captain didn't need to be told twice. Her nose twitched as she caught the honey-sweet aroma, and she dropped onto the floor without ceremony, snatching a barley cake. One bite, two. Her expression shifted to genuine surprise. "This is actually delicious." She turned toward the cat siblings, crumbs dusting her armor. "Did they make it?" Noah nodded, mouth full of an apple slice. "Did they also clean this place?" "It's no longer dusty." Another nod. "I see." Valeria's gaze fixed on Alyssa with new interest. "What's your name?" "Alyssa." The response came barely above a whisper. "Valeria Nightwind, captain of the Silver Wolves." She gestured toward Kip, who was trying to make himself invisible. "And the shy one?" "Kip?" The boy stammered, his ears flattened against his skull. "Poor kid looks terrified." Valeria's expression softened. "Relax, little one. Anyone who can cook like this is welcome in my book." She turned back to Noah. "So, hired help or?" "Hired help," Noah replied firmly. "Smart." Valeria grabbed another cake. "Good help is hard to find, especially help that comes with cooking skills." Alyssa's tail gave a tentative wag at the unexpected praise. Her ears perked up slightly, anxiety slowly draining from her posture. After finishing her food, Noah extended his hand toward Valeria. "1 gold coin." Her eyebrow shot up. "Huh? For the food? You think it's free?" "You!" Valeria's mouth hung open. "I underestimated how shameless you can be." Noah's composure cracked. Laughter bubbled up from his chest. "I'm joking." "Got her." Valeria shook her head in disbelief. "I wouldn't be surprised if you weren't. Anyway, I want to buy a loaf of bread and another iced tea." "For your guild again?"
No.
Her cheeks reddened slightly. "I took a sip last time to try it out. The taste was out of this world. This one's for me. Even guild captains have a sweet tooth." She placed 11 golden coins on the counter. "Same deal as before. 11 coins and swordsmanship practice." Noah nodded, pocketing the payment. Despite the exhaustion, he genuinely enjoyed their training sessions. The burn in his muscles felt like progress. "System, can I sign Alyssa or Kip so that I could leave them here to work while I'm out?" "No. The host cannot contract others for shop sales. However, the option does unlock at shop level 2 with randomized shop assistance." "Random assistance? That sounds unpredictable." "All right, let's go." Noah retrieved the bread and tea from his shelves before handing them to her. Shops usually quiet this time of day anyway. They stepped outside, leaving Kip and Alyssa standing like loyal sentries beside the shop door. Noah paused mid-stride. "What are you doing?" "Waiting for your return," Alyssa replied with perfect sincerity. "They're gonna stand here like statues until I get back." Noah face-bombed. "If you don't have anything to do, come with us." Their eyes widened in unison. Permission to leave their post seemed revolutionary. "We can do that?" Kip's voice carried wonder. He turned towards Valeria and asked, "They can come with me, right?" Valeria nodded. "Yes, they can." Noah turned back to the siblings and said, "You heard her. Let's go." He gestured with his hand. Chapter 33, Level 2 Swordsmanship Skill. In the familiar training courtyard, Noah gripped his wooden sword with some confidence. The weapon felt lighter now, more natural in his hands than during his first clumsy attempts. "All right." Valeria crossed her arms, studying his stance. Show me whether you've been practicing or just slacking around. Noah nodded, flowing through the basic forms she drilled into him. High strike, middle strike, low strike. His movements still lacked the grace of a swordsman, but they were much better. At least I'm not embarrassing myself. Although you haven't improved much, you didn't get worse either. Valeria's assessment stung with its honesty. She's not wrong. I haven't practiced at all since my last visit here. Let's pick up where we left off. From the sidelines, Finn sat with his usual notebook, scratching furiously across parchment. The young man's eyes burned with desperation. He was just a man trying to learn swordsmanship. Poor guy. Noah caught Finn's gaze briefly. Something about the young man's hunger for knowledge resonated deeper than expected. Meanwhile, Kip and Alyssa watched from their corner with undisguised fascination. Their eyes tracked every movement, studying Noah like he was performing miracles instead of stumbling through basic drills. They think I'm awesome. If only they knew how often I nearly dropped this thing. 20 minutes into the session, sweat beaded on Noah's forehead despite the cool breeze. His muscles screamed once again as Valeria pushed him through different combinations. A glance toward his employees made guilt twist in his stomach. Alyssa stood watching him. She was very interested, her tail swinging around. She's just recovered from illness. Standing here watching me flail around can't be interesting. Besides, I brought them here, I can't just leave them doing nothing. Noah lowered his sword, wiping forehead sweat with his sleeve. Alyssa, do you want to join me? She jumped slightly from the sudden call, before shaking her head immediately. I am fine watching, Sir Noah. Are you still not feeling well? Another shake. You should train hard. I'm just a servant. I can't interrupt your practice. Besides, I've never touched a sword before. I'll just slow you down. Come join him. Valeria's unexpected interjection made Noah smile. I'm bored watching him do the same strikes anyways. I'll teach you for a bit. Noah seized the opportunity. You heard her. This is once in a lifetime. Valeria's an adept swordmaster. Very few reach that stage in all of Esta. Kip nudged his sister's shoulder. Go try it, Alyssa. Reluctant but somewhat excited, she finally nodded. Valeria retrieved a second practice sword from the weapon rack, testing its balance. Basic stance first. Feet shoulder-width apart. Alyssa mimicked the position perfectly on her first attempt. That to me a few tries to get right. Noah thought, glancing at her from the corner of his eyes as he continued with his training. The grip on the sword should be firm but not rigid. Let the weapon become an extension of your arm. MHM. Alyssa nodded. Again, flawless execution. Her tail swayed with natural balance as she adjusted her posture. Okay. That's actually impressive. Now, basic strike pattern. Watch me once. Valeria demonstrated a simple diagonal cut, her blade moving with grace. Alyssa observed intently. Her silver ears twitched in concentration. When she replicated the movement, something extraordinary happened. The wooden sword flowed through the air like it belonged there. Her form wasn't just correct, it was elegant. Natural. As if she'd been born holding a blade. What the hell? How did she do it so quickly? I don't even think I can perform it that well, at my current level. Valeria's eyebrows climbed toward her hairline. Again. Another perfect strike. Then another. Each repetition carried improving fluidity, subtle refinements that spoke of intuitive understanding and natural talent. This is impossible. Noah had long since stopped training, and just looked at Alyssa blazing through the routine that took his hours. Try the basic combination. High, middle, low. Alyssa nodded, her eyes focused with laser intensity. Her first attempt was clean. Her second was smooth. By her third, Noah's mouth was hung open, just like Finn's. I spent hours reaching basic competency. She's getting there in minutes. Finn's quill had stopped moving entirely. His mouth hung open as he watched talent bloom before his eyes. Kip bounced on his toes, pride radiating from every whisker. That's my sister. 10 minutes. That's all it took. 10 minutes for Alyssa to demonstrate sword work that surpassed Noah's current skill level. Skills he'd earned through repetition, sweat, and determination for close to 3 hours. Natural talent. Actual, genuine, terrifying natural talent. Valeria lowered her own blade, studying Alyssa with new eyes. Have you ever handled weapons before? Any kind of combat training? Never. Alyssa's response carried confusion at her own success. I was always assigned household duties. Of course she was. Waste of potential doesn't begin to cover it. Well, Valeria's grin turned predatory. That changes today. The training session suddenly felt less like practice and more like witnessing the birth of something dangerous. And I thought my learning curve was impressive. Inspired by the cat girl's supernatural progress, Noah gritted his teeth and threw himself back into training. If she can learn that fast, I can at least improve and hopefully increase my skills level to 2. The wooden sword became an extension of his determination. Each strike carried his competitive spirit. Sweat dripped steadily as the hour stretched on, his muscles screaming protests he chose to ignore. Alyssa continued her own practice nearby, her movements flowing like water. What should have been encouraging felt like salt in an open wound. She's making me look like a child playing with sticks. But stubbornness had always been Noah's strongest attribute. He pushed harder, refined his techniques, forced his body to remember every correction Valeria had beaten into him. The system's chime came as a needed intervention before his body gave out. Your swordsmanship skill has leveled up to level 2. Relief flooded through him. Finally, the satisfaction lasted exactly 3 seconds, until he glanced at Alyssa executing a complex combination that hurt his hands, just thinking about it. His mood soured like milk in summer heat. He was happy for the catgirl's success, yes, but the competitive fire in his chest burned with wounded pride. System, can I ever get better than her? Her talent is terrifying. Her talent is indeed exceptional. Regarding your question, yes, you can surpass her, but you would need products that enhance swordsmanship training. Comprehension boosters, talent amplifiers, that sort of thing. Noah's eyes lit up like a child discovering hidden candy. There are such things? Of course, host. There are far better items available. But you need to work hard and upgrade the shop. More products. More possibilities. More power. The future suddenly seemed brighter. Valeria's voice shattered his system-induced trance. He looked up to find the guild captain studying Alyssa with undisguised interest. Alyssa? She continued, never taking her eyes off the catgirl's perfect form. Would you like to be my disciple? The words hung in the air like a blade threatening to fall. Time seemed to freeze. Finn's quill stopped scratching. Kip's excited bouncing ceased. Even the training dummy appeared to lean forward waiting for the catgirl's response. A disciple of an adept swordmaster. Noah's heart hammered against his ribs. Valeria didn't make such offers lightly. He could tell from her personality. Disciples received personal training, advanced techniques, connections that could reshape their entire lives. Alyssa's amber eyes went wide, the practiced sword trembling in her suddenly uncertain grip. The courtyard held its breath, waiting for an answer that would rewrite the future. Chapter 34. Decision. The moment of truth. Alyssa's gaze swept from Kip to Noah. The practiced sword trembled in her grip as seconds stretched into eternity. Her next words hit the courtyard like a thunderclap. Sorry. I don't think I can. Wait, what did she just say? Silence stretched thin as a blade's edge. Even Finn's quill froze mid-stroke, ink pooling forgotten on the parchment. Before Valeria could respond, Noah's voice cut through the stunned quiet. Why? This is an incredible opportunity. Alyssa, you should take it. Passion colored his words. Working in his small shop, cleaning, and cooking couldn't compare to training under an adept swordmaster. The disparity was laughable. She's throwing away the chance of a lifetime. I know it's a good opportunity, but I chose to work for you, Sir Noah. I won't change my mind now. This girl. Speechlessness claimed Noah entirely. In a world where survival trumped sentiment, where pragmatism ruled over loyalty, She was choosing him. Choosing a modest shop over legendary training. Kip stood motionless, understanding flickering in his young eyes. His sister's decision wasn't impulsive. It was inevitable. Noah's kindness had purchased more than their freedom. It had earned something far more precious. Unwavering loyalty. His sister was a very simple person. She traded good for good. Once somebody was good to her, she would only be good to them. Valeria released a long breath, studying the cat girl with some respect. She didn't push further, didn't argue or cajole. Some decisions carried a conviction that arguments couldn't budge. Instead, she turned to Noah. You better bring her to every session. Otherwise, you'll be killing a talent that emerges once in a century. Noah nodded, words still caught somewhere between his throat and his racing thoughts. Every session, without fail. The commitment settled like an oath. Alyssa had chosen him. The least he could do was help her grow into the swordsman she was clearly meant to become. My life just got more complicated. Again. Back in their alleyway, the aroma of cooking meat filled the air. They had decided to cook in the alleyway so that the shop wasn't filled with cooking aroma. The alleyway was abandoned anyway, so it didn't matter whether they cooked there or not. They weren't going to disturb anyone. Alyssa worked at their newest acquisition, a peculiar stove that hummed with inner light. No wood, no coal, just a faint blue glow emanating from a crystal embedded in its base. Noah watched her deftly manipulate the controls, adjusting the heat. The device responded instantly, flames dancing higher or lower at her touch. How does it work? He asked, genuinely curious. Beast crystal. Alyssa pointed to the glowing core. The one right here is what you call a Tier 0 beast crystal. It might sound weak, but it's sufficient for cooking. The crystal pulsed with contained energy, no larger than Noah's thumb, yet somehow powering the entire apparatus. Veins of light traced through the stove's metal framework like a circulatory system. Magic-powered appliances. That's kind of cool. I didn't expect them to have such things. The merchant said it'll last a month, Kip added, stirring the pot. 50 silver coins. Not cheap by local standards. But Noah had seen the longing in Alyssa's eyes when she'd spotted it at the market stall. This saves me time and hassle. When she isn't here, I can also use this to make myself some tea without worrying about the carbon dioxide emissions in my shop. The vendor had demonstrated the crystal's installation, a simple twist-lock mechanism that secured the power source. Tier 0 beast crystals, he'd explained, come from the weakest monsters. Slimes mostly, barely dangerous, but their cores hold just enough energy for household use. Slimes? I really want to hunt some of those. But not now, maybe when I get stronger. Steam rose from Alyssa's cooking, carrying scents that made Noah's mouth water. Whatever she was preparing smelled much better than anything he'd managed with his earth kitchen. The crystal gave energy continuously, reliably, and clean. Produced no smoke, no ash, just pure energy converted to heat. Kip carefully arranged wooden bowls while his sister added final seasonings. Maybe this world isn't as backwards as I initially thought. The meal before him looked so delicious that his mouth watered slightly. Tender strips of meat glistened with herbs and spices, arranged artfully on wooden plates. Steam rose slowly, carrying an aroma that made his stomach clench with anticipation. What kind of meat is this? Noah asked, lifting his wooden spoon. Ironhide boar, Alyssa replied, settling beside him. The merchant said it strengthens the body naturally, makes you more resilient. The meat had cost them some silver coins, but if it actually enhanced physical capabilities, the investment seemed worthwhile. Noah brought the spoon toward his mouth, savoring the rich scent. Grrrk. Grrrk. He froze mid-bite. What was that? The sound came again. It was an unmistakably inhuman noise from somewhere to his right. Noah's head snapped toward the alleyway entrance. His eyes widened in shock. It's that goblin. Without hesitation, he dropped his spoon and bolted toward the shop door. Run! The wooden spoon clattered against the floor as Noah scrambled inside. His heart hammered against his ribs like a trapped bird. It's that same goblin from before. Kip and Alyssa remained seated, confusion written across their faces. They glanced at each other, then toward the door where Noah had vanished. "Sir Noah," Alyssa called softly, "Grrrk." The sound grew closer. Through the window, Noah watched in horror as a small green figure shuffled into view. The goblin was pathetic. It just had a fork in its hand. No armor or anything that hinted it was dangerous. The goblin was dressed in tattered rags hanging from his skinny frame. "Wait, is it crying?" Kip approached the creature cautiously. "Hey there, little guy." The goblin looked up with large, watery eyes. Tears tracked down its green cheeks. "Grrrk. Master gone. Grix is all alone now." Talks. Chapter 35. Apologize. Alyssa joined her brother, maternal instincts taking over. "Your master died? Master Cornelius. Good to Grix." The goblin wiped its nose with a dirty sleeve. "Give Grix food, a warm place to sleep. Now master is gone, and Grix has nowhere." "Is that a domestic goblin?" "Of course, this world has domestic goblins." Noah cracked the door open slightly, still wary. "How long have you been in this alleyway?" 3 days, Grix sniffled. "Looking for a new home, but nobody wants Grix. I have no food, except for a chicken from 3 days ago." The creature's story unfolded in halting sentences. Cornelius had been an elderly alchemist who'd bought Grix from goblin raiders 20 years ago. Too old to fight, too small to be useful in traditional ways, Grix had become a laboratory assistant instead. 20 years of domestication. No wonder it seems harmless. Although it looked so scary trying to go after that chicken a few days ago. When master die, other humans say Grix must go. Cannot stay in nice house. More tears. Grix try to find work, but everyone hate goblin. Alyssa's tail swished with sympathy. "You've been living in this alley?" "Yes, sometimes. Very cold at night. Very hungry." Grix's stomach chose that moment to rumble loudly. "Smell good food. Make Grix remember master's cooking." The goblin's eyes fixed on their abandoned meal with desperate longing. Noah finally emerged from the shop. "It's just a homeless creature looking for help." "Are you dangerous in any way?" he asked directly. He wasn't sure if that goblin was being sneaky to try get him out of the shop, but from the way he was talking and his body language, Grix really seemed like a chill goblin. Grix shook his head vigorously. "No, I've never thought that one day I would meet a pacifist goblin." The creature looked so pitiful that Noah's resistance crumbled entirely. Noah glanced at Kip and Alyssa, reading the same sympathy in their expressions. They understood hunger, understood abandonment. "We can't leave it here to starve." "Grix," Noah said carefully, "want to join us?" The goblin's entire body went rigid. His large, watery eyes blinked rapidly as if Noah's words were spoken in some forgotten language. "Join? You?" Grix's voice cracked. "Grix can stay? The poor thing looks like I just offered him the crown jewels. For meals, at least." Noah gestured toward their cooling food. "You help with cleaning alongside Alyssa and Kip, we make sure you eat." Grix's thin frame trembled. His rat-like tail twitched with barely contained hope. "Grix is a very good cleaner." The words tumbled out in a desperate rush from the goblin's mouth. "Know how to organize things, sweep floors. Master always says Grix have gentle hands for delicate work." Alyssa's ears drooped with sudden insecurity. "Sir Noah, am I not doing well in cleaning?" The question hit Noah like a punch to the gut. Her amber eyes glistened with worry. Her tail curled defensively around her legs. "She thinks I'm replacing her." "What? No." Noah's response came too quickly, too loudly. "Alyssa, you're perfect at cleaning. The shop has never looked better." "Shit, I didn't think about how this would look to her." Grix's large eyes darted between them, confusion clouding his weathered features. The goblin's excitement dimmed as he sensed the tension. "Listen." Noah ran fingers through his hair, his mind racing for the right words. "Alyssa, you're not being replaced. You're irreplaceable." The catgirl's posture gradually relaxed. Her tail unfurled from its position. So, we're all working together. Exactly. Noah smiled, relief flooding through him. You handle the important stuff, cooking and main cleaning. Grix can help with cleaning the area outside the shop and stuff like that. Grix perked up immediately. Grix is very good with small tasks. Never get in Miss Alyssa's way. The goblin's earnest promise drew a tiny smile from Alyssa. After enjoying the meal together, Grix busied himself cleaning the alleyway and their eating area. Noah retreated inside, expecting the usual afternoon customers. None came. Alyssa and Kip followed him in, settling into comfortable silence. When Grix finished his work, he joined them, sitting cross-legged on the floor with obvious contentment. An hour crawled by in peaceful monotony. The door chimed, breaking their moment of peace. Woodrow entered with a companion, a slightly older man of similar age. Their eyes swept the shop's occupants. A goblin, 2 catkin, and Noah surrounded by his unlikely collection of employees. Woodrow raised an eyebrow but said nothing. His friend had no such restraint. What do we have here? The stranger's voice carried casual amusement. A goblin and some stray kittens? Oh hell no. Noah's expression darkened instantly. The temperature in the small shop seemed to drop several degrees. What did you say? Woodrow caught Noah's shift in mood, nudging his companion urgently. He had barely stepped into the store, and he had already made Noah angry. STO. Damn this idiot, he still has that superiority complex. I shouldn't have brought him here. If I hadn't met him on the way here, I wouldn't have brought him. But alas, I can't change fate. I said a goblin and stray kittens. The man shrugged, oblivious to the mounting tension. What's the fuss? Noah's voice cut through the air like a blade. Apologize or get out of my store. The stranger's eyebrows climbed toward his receding hairline. Calm down, young friend. I wasn't insulting you. It's just some demi-humans and an old goblin. Why are you so agitated? Just some demi-humans. Just an old goblin? You are insulting me by insulting those around me. The casual dismissal made Noah's blood boil. I would have kicked his old but out of my store had I been strong enough. Woodrow finally found his voice, embarrassment coloring his cheeks. You're embarrassing me. Apologize. The man looked between Noah's thunderous expression and Woodrow's mortified face. Something in their combined disapproval finally penetrated his thick skull. I apologize. Not to me. Noah pointed toward Alyssa, Kip, and Grix, who sat frozen with obvious discomfort. To them. Chapter 36. Embarrassment. The stranger's mouth opened and closed like a landed fish. 20 years of casual prejudice warred against Noah's pressure and his friend's glaring disappointment. I apologize. The words came out strained, directed toward the floor rather than his intended recipients. Noah wasn't satisfied. He turned toward his employees, voice gentling considerably. Do you forgive him? Alyssa nodded quietly, her natural grace preventing any scene. Grix bobbed his head eagerly, desperate to avoid conflict. Kip glared at the stranger until his sister's elbow found his side. He glared at him one more time before reluctantly nodding. Good enough. The shop's atmosphere remained thick with tension, but crisis had been averted. Noah's message was clear. His employees deserved respect, regardless of species. Anyone who can't handle that can shop elsewhere. Woodrow stepped forward, relieved that the situation had de-escalated. I'm really sorry about this, Noah. Had I known he was still stuck in his old ways, I wouldn't have brought him here. Noah shook his head. It's not your fault. Don't worry about it. Besides, he already apologized, though it took some coercing. Woodrow nodded gratefully before requesting his usual order. A loaf of bread. Noah's gaze shifted to the other man, someone he hadn't bothered asking for a name. Do you want anything too? The stranger nodded eagerly, clearly desperate to make amends. Sorry about earlier again. It's just an old man's grumpy attitude. Didn't mean to offend. Could I get a loaf of bread like my friend here? At least he's trying. Noah retrieved both loaves from the shelf, placing them on the counter. Anything else? Both men shook their heads. Paying together or separately? The unnamed stranger stepped forward, clearly wanting to improve the mood. He placed 6 golden coins on the counter. As he reached for the bread, Noah's hand shot out, stopping him mid-motion. The man's eyebrows climbed. Is something wrong? What's this? Noah gestured at the coins, then back at the customer. Confusion flickered across his face. That's the price for both loaves. He turned to Woodrow. Isn't it 3 gold coins per loaf? Woodrow nodded, equally puzzled. Noah presented an innocent smile. 3 gold coins was the old price. The new price is 4 golden coins. What? Why? Inflation, supply chain issues, you know how it is. Noah shrugged, knowing full well they understood none of those terms. If you don't want it, I can return them to the shelf. Let's see how badly you want that healing bread. To learn a lesson, you need to pay a price. You would be dreaming if you think I will let you go without extorting some extra cash. I want it, he sighed, taking out 2 additional coins. Excellent choice. 8 golden coins clinked onto the counter. This time, Noah made no move to stop the transaction. The bread moved to their hands while Woodrow shot Noah one final apologetic look before they departed. Your idle income has been updated. Daily revenue, $1,400. For gold coins per loaf. Beautiful. Behind him, his employees watched with varying degrees of awe and amusement. Even Grix seemed impressed by the casual way Noah had made the man pay extra. The door closed with a satisfied chime, leaving Noah counting his unexpected windfall. After the door closed, Kip exploded like a dam bursting. Sir Noah, you're amazing for making that old hag pay more. He deserved it. The young catboy's tail bristled as his yellow-green eyes blazed with satisfaction. Alyssa's eyes narrowed with maternal disapproval. Kip, don't be rude. He deserved it. Kip's voice cracked with emotion. Did you hear what he called us? Stray kittens. His hairline is astray because I don't think anyone here saw it. Noah barely controlled his laugh that almost escaped without his consent. He masked it with a quick cough. Kid's got a good joke. I will give him that. Still. Alyssa reached over, stroking the fluff between his ears with her gentle fingers. You're better than that. That's not how you've been raised. The familiar gesture worked its magic. Kip's bristling fur gradually smoothed, though his scowl remained firmly in place. She's right, Noah agreed. But I appreciate your defensiveness. Nothing wrong with a little righteous anger on behalf of his sister. Noah reached into his coin pouch, producing 2 golden pieces. He placed one in Grix's startled hands, then offered the other to the siblings. What's this for? Alyssa's ears twitched with confusion. Your share from the old man's money. Noah's grin turned mischievous. Consider it a customer service bonus. Grix stared at the coin like it might vanish. For Grix. For all of you. Noah nodded. If that old man knew you guys took his money, he would have puked a mouthful of blood. The image hit them simultaneously. Kip's sullen expression cracked first, a snort escaping his attempts at dignity. Alyssa covered her mouth with her delicate fingers, shoulders shaking with suppressed laughter. Grix's wheeze turned into full-blown cackles. Old Master turned purple when angry. This man probably turned green, like a sick goblin, Kip added, dissolving into giggles. Kip! Alyssa scolded, but her own laughter betrayed her. That's terrible. The tension from earlier melted away completely, their small shop filled with the sound of genuine mirth. Noah watched his employees enjoy their unexpected windfall. A few hours passed by before the familiar chime announced their next customer. Do you miss me? Princess Alara swept through the doorway, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Her lips curved in a knowing smile. One eyebrow arched in inquiry as she awaited Noah's response. That expression screams trouble, Noah thought, staring at her. Oh! Her face flushed crimson as reality crashed down. Multiple pairs of eyes stared back at her. Not just Noah, but but his entire collection of employees arranged throughout the small shop. "Way to make an entrance, Your Highness." Noah grinned, but the embarrassment lasted exactly 1 second before her gaze locked onto Kip. "So cute." The princess practically floated across the floor, stopping directly in front of the young cat boy. Chapter 37. Second lesson. Her hands hovered mere inches from his ears, trembling with her barely restrained desire to pet. "Can I caress his head?" She turned to Alyssa with pleading eyes. Alyssa glanced at her brother, whose face had transformed into various shades of red. The poor boy stood frozen like a statue, yellow-green eyes wide with shock at the gorgeous princess's attention. "Kid looks like he's about to faint." "Keep." Alyssa's voice carried gentle encouragement. A tiny nod, barely perceptible but enough. Alyssa smiled warmly. "Of course, Your Highness." Everyone in the city of Esta knew Princess Alara. Alara's squeal of delight sounded across the shop. Her fingers found the soft fur between Kip's ears, stroking with reverent care. "So soft, like silk." Kip's blush deepened to crimson. His tail betrayed him completely, wagging with uncontrollable happiness despite his embarrassment. Poor kids overwhelmed by a beautiful princess's attention. After several seconds of enthusiastic petting, Alara finally turned to Noah. Her expression changed from playful to purposeful. "Ready? For what?" "Our mana control lesson, remember?" She gestured toward his hand. "You don't want to access that storage ring on your finger?" Noah face-bombed. "Right. The ring I completely forgot about." His eyes narrowed as they settled on Alyssa. "You don't have legendary talent in magic too, right?" Alyssa's cheeks reddened under his scrutiny. She scratched her face self-consciously. "Something on my face?" Noah shook his head quickly. "Can she join the lesson?" "Sure." Alara's enthusiasm bubbled over. "The more the merrier." The lesson began with basic breathing exercises. Noah went through the same techniques that had taken him an hour to grasp the day before. Beside him, Alyssa followed along with determined concentration. "She's keeping pace with me. That's actually impressive." Her progress wasn't the terrifying natural talent she displayed with swordsmanship, but it was far from ordinary. Most unawakened people require days to sense mana at all. At least she's not completely supernatural at everything. A small voice piped up from the corner. "Can I join too?" Kip stood there with hopeful eyes, hands clasped behind his back like a child asking for candy. Kip wasn't particularly interested in the magic or the spells, but Alara's earlier affection made him want to get somewhat closer to her. She was a beautiful, kind princess who treated him well on their first meeting, which gave him a good first impression of her. Who wouldn't want to do the same as Kip? Alara's face melted into pure affection. "Of course, little one." She ruffled his already messy hair. "Why not? The whole gang's here anyway." Noah thought. "Want to join?" he asked Grix, who was just watching. Grix shook his hand and head immediately. "Grix don't want." Noah nodded, letting the old goblin watch them train. Kip settled beside his sister, mimicking their breathing patterns with careful attention. His small face scrunched in concentration. 5 minutes passed. Noah was still struggling to maintain his mana sense for more than 30 seconds. Alyssa had managed to sustain hers for nearly a minute, remarkable progress for a beginner. Then Kip opened his eyes. The air around his small hands shimmered with visible energy. Not the faint heat wave distortion Noah had managed yesterday, but actual honest-to-God glowing mana that danced between his fingers like captured starlight. "You've got to be kidding me." The 9-year-old catboy was manipulating raw magical energy like he'd been born to it. His first attempt had surpassed anything Noah could accomplish even now. These two siblings never fail to amaze me. Alara's jaw had dropped so far it was practically on the floor. Even she seemed stunned by the display of natural talent. "Kip," she whispered, "how are you doing that?" The boy tilted his head with innocent confusion. "Doing what?" "It feels warm and tingly. I like it." "Legendary magical talent." Just what kind of legendary cat birthed these two? The legendary Tom. Noah smiled helplessly. My employees are going to surpass me in every conceivable skill, aren't they? But watching Kip's tail wag with pure joy as mana sparkled around his tiny fingers, Noah couldn't bring himself to feel anything but pride. My shop's turning into a training ground for legends. Alara's head snapped toward Noah, excitement blazing in her eyes. Can I invite them to the academy? She glanced between the siblings, clearly trying to navigate the social dynamics she'd stumbled into. She couldn't ignore Noah's presence since he seemed close to the siblings. Noah shrugged. Ask them. It's their choice. Alara turned to face Kip and Alyssa, her composure returning as she changed into recruitment mode. Would you like to join Esta's Magic Academy? You both have incredible potential. Her fingers ruffled Kip's hair once more, drawing a delighted purr from the boy. Especially this little one. Alyssa's response came swiftly and decisively. I appreciate the offer, Your Highness, but I must decline. She turned to her brother with gentle eyes. Kip, would you like to join the academy? The young catboy's ears drooped like wilted flowers. His yellow-green eyes darted between his sister and the princess, internal conflict written across his small features. He wants to go, but not without her. Noah thought with a wry smile. The little catboy never failed to find a way to escape from him. Till now. The head shake came slowly and reluctantly. No, thank you. After several tries, Alara's shoulders sagged with visible disappointment. A legendary talent, slipping through her fingers. Noah's smile carried knowing sympathy. Don't worry. Someone else tried recruiting them before you and got the same answer. Really? Who? Valeria. While Kip has incredible magical talent, Alyssa here possesses equally terrifying potential for swordsmanship. She rejected becoming Valeria's disciple, too. Alara's eyebrows. The same Valera we both know? The very same. These two siblings are magnets for legendary trainers. The lesson resumed with focus. Noah threw himself into the breathing exercises, his determination fueled by watching the catboy surpass him in real time. Come on. I need to level up fast, please. Chapter 38. Leveling up. Minutes ticked by. His mana sense wavered, stabilized, then wavered again. Sweat beaded on his forehead despite the cool air. Alyssa maintained steady progress beside him. Not Kip's overwhelming talent, but solid advancement that put most students to shame. Kip continued manipulating visible mana like it was child's play. An hour crawled past. Noah's concentration never wavered, even as his employees eclipsed his speed with embarrassing ease. Then it happened. Your mana control skill has leveled up to level 2. Relief flooded through Noah's chest like warm honey. The constant strain he had been feeling of maintaining mana awareness finally eased, replaced by a stable, consistent connection. Finally, no more worrying about losing the sensation every 30 seconds. Despite leveling up his mana control to level 2, Noah's control remained elusive, meaning he couldn't use it to create or do anything substantial. Progress is progress, no matter how small. Based on my current progress, another lesson or two should allow me to level up and finally have the ability to use the storage ring or perhaps create some kind of basic spell. Alara noticed his improved stability immediately. Excellent. You're ready for basic exercises now. Noah nodded, genuine gratitude warming his chest. It's thanks to your teaching. Alara glanced at something, a pocket watch, perhaps, and made a startled sound. Oh, I have to go. I got so caught up with this little genius and your improvement that I'm almost late for something important. We'll continue our lessons another time. You should really think about the academy offer even part-time. Anything is better than nothing. Noah smiled and nodded. She is always recruiting, never gives up. After Alara departed, the shop settled into its familiar quiet. Another hour crawled by without customers. Noah yawned, exhaustion creeping into his bones. 8 hours spent. My daily goal has been completed, which meant 4 hours had passed in the real world. All right, everyone. Closing time. He distributed daily wages to Alyssa and Kip, watching their eyes light up at the golden coins. Grix did not receive the same daily wage. His daily wage was considered to be the daily meals with them. Sorry, Grix. Maybe when my daily income hits 100 gold coins. The goblin seemed content, in fact happy. Noah stepped through the portal, his apartment materializing around him like a familiar embrace. Home sweet. Bang, bang, bang. Sharp knocks rattled his door. Noah, I know you're there. You can't escape the rent forever. Mrs. Henderson, I totally forgot about the rent with everything going on. The middle-aged landlord's voice was loud. I'll give you till sunset before I come back to collect my overdue rent. If I don't see payment, I'll throw all your belongings into the street. 2 months behind, plus this month's payment. Noah sighed. The rent was around $1,200 a month in Detroit, Michigan, for a small studio in a small neighborhood. With 2 months unpaid, Noah was looking at a payment of $2,400. Noah ignored it all, heading straight for the bathroom. Hot water called to him, a simple pleasure after hours of working in a medieval world without proper plumbing. Shower first. Landlord drama comes second. The knocking eventually stopped, replaced by muttered curses fading down the hallway. Steam began filling the small bathroom as Noah stripped away the day's adventures. It's amazing how money problems seem smaller. After his shower, Noah dried off, threw on some fresh clothes, and headed for the bank branch near his apartment. His status screen stood in front of him as he walked, its translucent blue against the mundane cityscape. Host, Noah Carter. Age 28. Shops 1. Daily revenue, $1,400. Current assets, $15,600.42. Shop points, 320. Attributes, strength, 4. Vitality, 4. Intelligence, 7. Agility, 3. Skills, swordsmanship, level 2. Mana control, level 2. Programming, level 2. Finance, level 1. Surviving on ramen, level 3. Not bad. He smiled at the constantly growing numbers. Arriving inside the bank, Noah joined the queue. His turn arrived. The teller seemed young and enthusiastic, clearly new. Her smile was bright as she asked him, "How can I help you today?" Noah leaned forward, voice barely audible. 2,000. 2,000? She chirped loudly enough for half the bank to hear. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Noah's eye twitched as he nodded, resisting the urge to reach across the counter and cover her mouth. Every nearby customer suddenly found their shoes fascinating. Might as well have announced it over the intercom. The cash came in a discreet envelope that felt woefully inadequate for concealment. Noah tucked it into his inner jacket pocket, hand hovering protectively near the bulge. Paranoid? Maybe. The walk home became a masterclass in urban awareness. Every footstep behind him rang suspicious. Noah's eyes swept constantly. Almost there. Just 3 more blocks. 2 blocks from safety, his worst fears materialized. The figure emerged from an alley. The figure was of average height, dark clothing, and his face obscured by a ski mask. Hand over that envelope. Now. Of course. Noah's frown deepened as he assessed the situation. The mugger seemed nervous and jittery. He had no visible weapons, but that could change quickly. Never thought I'd need combat skills in my own neighborhood. Look, buddy, I just came from the bank. Pretty sure they have cameras pointing this direction. The mugger moved nervously, glancing around him. You think this is a joke? Noah's eyes swept the area, landing on a discarded baseball bat leaning against a dumpster. He sidestepped toward it. What are you doing? Stop right there. The man shouted, seeing him move. After taking hold of the baseball, Noah gained some more confidence. Move away before I turn your head into a baseball. The mugger's nervousness spiked. His hand disappeared into his jacket, emerging with a switchblade. Clink. Don't be smart. And don't you dare act like a hero. Just give me the money. He has a knife. That's not ideal. Noah's confidence wavered. System, would my swordsmanship skills work here? Chapter 39. Ninja? System, would my swordsmanship skills work here? Host swordsmanship skill applies in this world to blade-based combat. Improvised weapons show reduced effectiveness but retain basic principles. Better than nothing. Noah gripped the bat properly, his muscle memory from Valeria's training kicking in. The weight distribution was wrong, the balance quite different, but the fundamental stance remained sound. Level 2 swordsmanship. Let's see what you're worth. The mugger lunged forward, his knife leading. Hand it over. Noah's body responded automatically. He did a quick sidestep, redirect, and counterstrike combo. The bat connected with the man's wrist in a sharp crack. Clink. The knife clattered to concrete. What the? The mugger stared at his empty hand in disbelief. Baseball? Noah deadpanned, twirling the bat with confidence. America's pastime. No way. That actually worked. The would-be thief clutched his wrist, his shock delaying the pain. This wasn't how muggings were supposed to go. You some kind of ninja? Before Noah could respond, the mugger made a quick decision, sprinting away into the gathering dusk. Noah watched him disappear, adrenaline singing through his veins. Noah dropped the bat with a dull thud and climbed the stairs to his apartment. The familiar scent of old carpet and broken dreams greeted him as he reached his floor. Sunset soon arrived. Before Mrs. Henderson could execute her signature three-knock combo, the one that rattled his door like artillery fire, Noah swung it open. The middle-aged landlord stumbled forward, her raised fist meeting empty air. She caught herself against the doorframe, her white hair askew from her near tumble. It's about time you opened the door. She straightened her floral housecoat. Her brown eyes blazed behind her wire-rimmed glasses. I've been hunting you down like a common criminal, Noah Carter. Mrs. Henderson. Noah's tone remained perfectly neutral, as if she dropped by for afternoon tea instead of eviction. Lovely evening, isn't it? Kill her with kindness. Don't you dare try that sweet talk on me. She waggled a finger inches from his nose. A month behind, plus this month's payment. That's $2,400, young man. Her eyes narrowed to suspicious slits. I've been really busy. You know how it is in the startup world. Start up my wrinkled behind. Mrs. Henderson's voice climbed toward outrage. I've seen more failed entrepreneurs than you've had hot dinners. They all say the same thing. Next week, Mrs. Henderson. Big deal coming through, Mrs. Henderson. She stepped closer, invading his personal space. Well, I'm done being patient. Sunset means eviction papers, boy. Hope your precious startup can provide you with a cardboard box. She is always quite dramatic. I'll give her that. Noah reached into his jacket pocket, his fingers closing around the envelope. The paper crinkled softly. Actually, he said, pulling out the cash, I think we can settle this right now. Mrs. Henderson's tirade died mid-syllable. Her eyes locked onto the envelope like a hawk spotting its prey. Money talks louder than you do. Is that? She blinked rapidly, as if the envelope might vanish if she looked away. $2,400. Hard cash. Seeing her expression, Noah thought, sometimes the best revenge is paying your bills. Mrs. Henderson's mouth opened and closed like a landed fish, her prepared eviction speech crumbling into nothing. Well, she managed finally, it's about damn time. The envelope passed between them. Since you paid, I will forgive you for your past deeds. But don't you dare give a late payment again. I won't be so polite next time. Noah nodded. Of course. After paying the rent dues, Noah returned to his apartment and collapsed onto his couch. His phone buzzed against his table, an unknown number flashing across the cracked screen. Noah considered ignoring it, but his curiosity won. Hello. Noah. Dude. It's Marcus from university. Marcus. Noah's mind scrolled through college memories. Marcus Thompson? The one and only. Man, I tracked you down through like 6 different social media platforms. You're harder to find than a decent parking spot. Well, that was intentional. What's up, Marcus? Class reunion, baby. 2 weeks from now. The whole gang's getting together at the Marriott downtown. You remember Sarah? She's organizing the whole thing. Listen, I appreciate you calling, but come on, man. It'll be epic. Jessica's flying in from Seattle. Tom's bringing his new Porsche. And get this, Kevin made partner at his law firm. And here comes the humble bragging. Noah rubbed his temples. That's great for everyone, but I'm not really interested. Not interested? Marcus's voice cracked with disbelief. Dude, it's been years. Don't you want to see how everyone turned out? I can imagine. Suits, luxury cars, and conversations about their quarterly earnings. I've got stuff to do that weekend. Stuff? What kind of stuff is more important than reconnecting with old friends? Running a shop in another world. Managing employees with legendary talents. Learning magic from a medieval princess. Work stuff. Big project. Still coding in that basement apartment? Man, you need to get out more. Sarah mentioned she's bringing her husband. He's a doctor, super successful guy. And remember Lisa from sophomore year? She's in marketing now, making bank. Oh God. The success parade continues. Marcus. Look, I get it. Maybe things haven't gone exactly as planned for you. But that's what reunions are for. Fresh starts, new connections. Who knows? Maybe someone's looking for a programmer for their startup. I'm doing fine, thanks. Define fine, because Jessica mentioned she saw your linked out, and it still says, seeking opportunities. No judgment, man. But I'm hanging up now. Wait. Noah, just think about it. Okay? 2 weeks. 1 night. Free dinner, open bar, and I promise the stories will be worth it. Remember when Jess tried to ask Professor Williams on a date? Actually, that was pretty funny. Noah's resolve wavered for exactly 3 seconds before reality reasserted itself. A room full of college classmates comparing achievements while he sat there sounded like torture. I've got stuff to do, Marcus. Thanks for calling. But, click. Noah stared at his phone, imagining the scene he'd just avoided. The couch embraced him like an old friend as he settled deeper into its worn cushions. In 2 weeks, his classmates would gather to compare bank accounts and career trajectories. Meanwhile, he'd be in another world. Different kinds of success, I suppose. His phone buzzed again. Another unknown number. This time, Noah didn't hesitate to decline the call. Some battles aren't worth fighting. Chapter 40, 5 days. 5 days had passed since the incident with the landlord. Inside his small shop, Noah stood with a deep frown etched across his face. The expression had become increasingly common, and Alyssa's worried glances followed him whenever he moved. Those 5 days had fallen into a routine. Wake up, head to the shop, sell bread and iced tea, train with his employees, return home. The routine had become a sanctuary, but the sanctuary was about to crumble. Host, Noah Carter, age 28, Shops 1. Daily revenue, $1,400. Current assets, $49,023. Shop points, 720. Attributes, strength, 4, vitality, 4, intelligence, 7, agility, 3. Skills, swordsmanship, level 4, mana control, level 4, programming, level 2, finance, level 1, surviving on ramen, level 3, cooking, level 2. Host, today is your final day in this location. Please prepare your farewell appropriately. There it is. The hammer is finally about to fall. In those 5 days, Noah had accumulated wealth beyond his wildest dreams. The princess's daily order of 4 iced teas brought him a steady daily income of 40 golden coins. Woodrow's consistent purchases and Valeria's also added another 19 gold coins daily. 59 gold coins per day for 5 days meant 295 gold coins, which was $29,500 in additional income. Combined with his idle revenue of $1,400 daily over 5 days, his current wealth approached $50,000. From broke to wealthy in the span of days. His skills had flourished under his constant practice. Swordsmanship at level 4 meant he could hold his own against some competent fighters, but he was still not a novice swordsman. Mana control at level 4 brought him incredibly close to actual spellcasting. Elara insisted he was nearly ready for novice magic. Level 5 should be the threshold for a novice mage. But none of it mattered now. His shop points stood at 720. 280 short of the 1,000 needed to lock this location. The automakers remained stubbornly at level 1, their progress bars mocking his efforts. Auto iced tea maker. Progress 40/60ths. Auto baker. Progress 26/60. So close, yet so far. Today marked the end of everything he'd built here. In a few hours, the system would relocate him to some unknown world, leaving behind the relationships that had become more precious than gold. Alyssa's worried voice finally pierced his brooding. "Sir Noah, is something wrong? How do I explain this? How do I tell them I'm disappearing?" Noah's shoulders sagged. "My shop will disappear from this place tomorrow. Don't come to work from now on. Today is your last day." His words were like a death sentence to the 3 employees in front of him. "Disappear?" Kip's voice cracked with confusion. "What do you mean by disappear?" "I don't know how long it'll be before I come back." Each word felt like pulling teeth. "The shop relocates." The color drained from Alyssa's face. Her ears flattened against her skull as she realized that they would no longer be together. "You're leaving us? Damn it." The way she said it, it's like I'm abandoning them. Tears began forming in her amber eyes, droplets that threatened to shatter Noah's composure. Beside her, Kip's small body trembled with barely contained emotion. Even Grix seemed to deflate like a punctured balloon. His green skin took on a sickly pallor. "Master Noah, Grix did something wrong. They think it's their fault. Of course they do."
"No."
Noah's response came too quickly, shaking his head. "None of you did anything wrong. This isn't about you. It's about the shop itself." Alyssa's composure finally cracked. Tears spilt down her furry cheeks as she pressed small hands to her face. The sight of her crying made a lump form in Noah's throat. I've never seen her break down, not even when she was sick and starving. Kip moved closer to his sister, his own eyes glistening as he wrapped thin arms around her shoulders. Their shared grief was a mirror, reflecting each other's pain in an endless loop of loss. "We will never see you again," Kip whispered. Noah walked to them before kneeling to their level, forcing a small smile into his expression. "Hey, listen to me. This isn't goodbye forever. I want you to do something for me while I'm gone." He placed gentle hands on both their shoulders. "Alyssa, take Valeria up on her offer. Become her disciple. It'll be good for you." Her head shook frantically. "I don't want to train without you. I want to stay here and wait." "No waiting." Noah's voice carried gentle firmness. "You have incredible talent. Don't waste it pining for something uncertain." He turned to Kip, whose tears were flowing freely now. "And you take Alara's offer. Join the academy. Your magical talent deserves proper development." "But what if you come back and we're not here?" Kip's logic was heartbreaking in its simplicity. "Then I will come and find you, where you'll be stronger, better, ready for whatever comes next." Noah's throat constricted around the words. "That's what I want, for you to grow beyond what you think possible. Kip, you need to grow stronger for your sister, okay? The demons are closing in on the kingdom, and you need to have enough strength." His gaze shifted to Grix, whose large eyes were fixed on the ceiling. "As for you, Grix." Noah scratched the back of his head. "What do I tell him? He hasn't shown talent in anything specific." "Grix should go with Alyssa. See if you can help somewhere in Valeria's guild. I'm sure you are an amazing alchemist. Maybe he'll find his niche there. Maybe they all will." Grix nodded slowly, though his expression remained hollow. "Grix understands. Will Master Noah remember us?" "Master Noah. Even now, he won't drop the title. Every day." The promise came without thought. "Every single day." The shop fell silent except for quiet sniffling and the distant sounds of Esta's afternoon bustle. For beings bound by circumstance and genuine affection, facing separation neither wanted nor could prevent.